Trying to keep me down all this time. I'm trying to make it out. They wanna make it, they wanna make it.
Here are 5 ways the NFL parallels slavery.
Oh no.
Here are 5 ways the NFL parallels slavery because black bodies in pain for public consumption has been white American entertainment for centuries. Starting off with ownership, there is not a single NFL team owner that is black. There are only 2 people of color, and they are not black. About 66% of NFL players are black, and only 30% are white. Head coaches, however, majority white. Owners, white. Here's another graphic with more recent data from 2021. Number 2, black pain for profit. This is a depiction of 2 enslaved people fighting each other for the entertainment of the white slave plantation owners. John Finley, who was a freed slave from Alabama, talked about how plantation owners would match these slaves by size to pit them against each other, and that it was more for white folks' enjoyment. Number 3, trading and judging a black man's value based on the physical attributes and qualities that he can bring to the sports team. During slavery, white people would literally publicly humiliate black people by putting them up for auction in slave trades and would poke at their bodies. They would pinch their muscles to see how strong they were, to see how likely they would be for good physical labor for their profit. The NFL talks of players as an investment and wants to know their long-term longevity as an investment. Same thing happened during the slave trades because the slave owners wanted to know which person they could choose to have the longest investment in their plantation. Colin Kaepernick says before they put you on the field, the teams poke, prod, and examine you, searching for any defect that might affect your performance. No boundary respect and no dignity left intact. Number 4, verbal and emotional abuse. This is Rashard Mendenhall. He was a former
Octavius Jenkins. You're so funny. So look, brother, I think this is like a perfect panel or the prompt, right? So here, I want to share something with you.
Okay.
So here, I want you to listen to an NFL player talk about. So I'm making the comparison or the parallel between the NFL as an organization and America as the government, and like like what you see right now, the FBA, right, under a certain organization or certain government, right, certain president, certain coaches, certain ownership of them. And so what's interesting about this is that I'm trying to like line up the timelines about when Black Americans filled in these positions through integration through the football league, right? But it happened a little slower than it did at the lunch table counter or the school, this Brown versus Board. You know what I mean? Like this still lagged a lot, but at the same time, Black Americans, being the first quarterback, being the first Black American MVP, right? Or like there's limited spots for people within the NFL, like ownership or coaching, right? It's like a couple Black Americans coaching. There's never been a Black offensive coordinator ever to this day. There's not a Black ownership, right? So when we're talking about the people that have a design and how people have to play under their rules, right? And so I just see a lot of parallels with this, but I want you to hear this Glock, because he talks about, okay, we have a Black American football player talking about, so okay, I don't know how to lead this into this because, hold on, give me a second. Let me grab it.
Yeah.
But you have to hear this. I wanted you to hear this specifically. Okay, so here goes the first video, and then I'm gonna tie this all together. Okay, here we go.
You hate the NFL, the way they treat the players, especially Black players.
In a January 2022 interview with the New York Times, you discussed possibly suffering from CTE. Where are you at with that? Is that something that's...
Oh, yeah. And of course, I mean, I'm not the same guy I was. Like, you know, even after I retired, you know, you don't know. I mean, like right now, I got onsets of Parkinson's. I got medication for Parkinson's. I'm going to tell you this, the sad thing about this whole deal is that with the NFL, and look, I just love playing football. And the NFL makes you hate the NFL, the way they treat the players, especially Black players. So you probably you ever heard of race norming? They race norm the Black players, race norm us.
Break that down, though, because I remember reading about that.
So what they'll say is, okay, take a Black player and a white player. The white player was already smart. The Black player was not smart already. If he comes down, the white player should get paid, but the Black player shouldn't get, because he was already dumb, basically. He was already kind of dumb. So,
and this wasn't even that long ago, though.
Oh, this was like 5 years ago.
Yeah. Wow.
And they said that, we won't do it again. I mean, it's like when we get hurt, like right now, you know, it's in the case with them for Parkinson's and CTE. We get so many that get denied. He's a great example. My friend Christian McCoy. Nigerian name. I was teasing about it the other day. He got that accent. He's going for his CTE case, and the race norming thing came in, saying that, well, he's Nigerian, so maybe he couldn't speak good English. He don't understand.
Crazy.
I mean, I was teasing him. I said, maybe they right. Okay, Deacon Jones passed away about 10 years ago. I went to see.
See how that was funny for him? How, I don't know if you caught that.
I caught that at the end.
Yeah. Let me rewind that one back for you. So he's talking about what he went through with CTE. You know what CTE is?
Yes, it's actually a Nigerian doctor, an Igbo doctor who was the first one to,
I was gonna lead into that. You already beat me to the punch.
Yeah.
You already beat me to the punch, man. Exactly. So it was just funny hearing him. This is a Black American talking about how, okay, so the payout for CTE, they would try to use this excuse about them being already dumb. So any damage to their brain didn't really matter, right? They'd try to make a case for that. But listen to him again, how he joked around with a Nigerian friend about him having an accent and not being smart enough, and joking, well, because again, at the end of the day, Glock, when there's an African playing football, right? It doesn't, one of the questions says, if an NFL owner benches an FBA over a tether, do you get a vote? So again, like they're always like, you're gonna undermine us, you're taking our jobs, and you know what I mean? But like at the end of the day, who has just like the white government invites Black immigrants with merit, you know, or their doctorate degrees or tech or whatever, you know what I mean? But this is the same scare tactic. So he's joking with his friend, but I feel like he's being serious too, because he's like trying to undermine him. He's saying like, look, you are just dumb because of your accent. I'm dumb because I got CTE. But here, I'm gonna run this one.
He got that accent. He's going for his CTE case, and the race norming thing came in, saying that, well, he's Nigerian, so maybe he couldn't speak good English. He don't understand.
Crazy.
I mean, I was teasing him. I said, maybe they right. Okay, Deacon Jones passed away about 10 years ago. I went to see Deacon way before he was in the hospital, before he was sick. And then me and him talk. He said, "What's your pension?" I said, "Man, I don't know." I said, "It could probably be what, 1,500 a month." He said, "You know what I get, Eric? I played 15 years. I get $250 a month. That's what I get, $250 fucking dollars." He said, "I take it so they can have it." We have no health care. Like players like me, I pay for my own health care. Now the players have health care 5 years. That's it.
Did you know that the NFL and the U.S. military? What's the question? Oh, I want you to hear this too. But yeah, you're 100% right about the Will Smith and the concussion movie, about how he was Nigerian as well. Igbo specifically, right?
Yeah.
And
correct.
how he was ignored, and how he was fighting against the NFL system, and they try to quiet his results and what he uncovered there, you know.
Yeah.
But isn't it like the parallel about him making fun of somebody that is Nigerian with an accent, and then the person that actually helped all Black Americans get a paycheck, the one that diagnosed us, right? Like, so that's what I'm saying about, and then how, oh my God. So I felt like that joke was very not funny, you know?
Well, I mean,
But
I don't. He's an athlete. So I think he was trying to make a joke, but not all jokes are funny. But I don't. I'm not personally offended or anything by it. But chronic traumatic encephalopathy is a legit thing, and Dr. Amalu is a neuropathologist out of, I think, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, or something like that. And his work really did, help people who understand neuropathology describe it. And there's a whole field just studying different traumatic diseases of the brain, that even boxers suffer from this, people in other sports other than football. So I mean, it's a big deal. But I'm not sure what the questions are. I'm trying to read the questions.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's go through them. Let's go through them, Glock. Go ahead, pick one, and then I'll flesh it out for you.
Who really decides your job or position in America? FBAs or white T corporations or owners?
Right. So again, the parallel is FBAs that tell immigrants that they're undermining them and that they should be deported and they don't belong here. But I don't know what that was. Who got invited here, right? Who got a chance to come here through their merit or whatever other means. So parallel with the NFL, it'd be like, who got your position, right?
I got you.
Yeah. So it's not up to us about who gets here, or an FBA or a Black American player to decide who's going to take his position, if you're going to be bench or if you're going to be a starter. You know, they pick you, select you because of their investment in you. You know. And that can range from white T players to immigrant players to the Black diaspora, right?
Right.
So this whole thing about them, so back to the whole how Black Americans integrated within the NFL and have garnered all this achievement under this scope that was still discriminated, right? So
I think you're saying it's like FBAs are upset at Africans for competing with them for a limited number of positions, but ultimately it's the YT corporations and the owners who decide who is on the team and who isn't.
Exactly. Just like the 14th Amendment was like, just like they run a percentage of all the athletes in the NFL, they still don't run who gave them the opportunity, who they have to fucking who they have to what's the word I'm looking for? Who they have to who are their orders coming from? So you see, Black athletes are always discriminated or always like shunned or criminalized of their behavior, you know? You got Brett Favre, who just had the biggest welfare fraud.
Yeah.
No right? And then you had like you have other players through their uh their sorry, their partners, right? Domestic violence, right? Or their drug uses, or Michael Vick,
Michael Vick
right?
with the dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's bro. Michael Vick is the funniest one because like think about what they're doing to black people on the football field, right? So all these come with fines and temperament and telling black athletes not to act like this or that, or you have consequences, right? And that does not stem for every athlete out there. I mean, they're finding niggas for celebrating when they score a touchdown. But more than that, brother. I feel like there are still positions in that organization that have never fulfilled. Like I just said, a black offensive coordinator. There's never been a black one. The black quarterback thing was such a big deal. That's why Michael Vick was a big deal, right? And they shunned him and they dehumanized him based off his his other affairs that he had going on. But what I want to relate this to, number two says, if the NFL owner benches a FBA over a tether, do you get a vote? You know, so back to like they don't really have a rule about who comes in and who comes out. They're not
Right.
Homeland Security. They're not owners. They are just mad that their position might be taken, that they might get benched.
Yeah, they are subject to competition, and they don't
Exactly.
want to compete with other black people. So it's kind of like they're anti-immigrant because they don't want Africans and Caribbeans to be in competition with them. So I do see the analogy. So this is like a football analogy of the diaspora war.
Exactly. But in the NFL realm, Glock, they don't have a choice. Like they really can't like protest. They can't get on TikTok and be like, this African athlete is playing on this team. They love the melting pot when it's in their own best interests.
Right.
But it's not the black American interest, it's the owner, it's the coaches, right? The ones that pick them out in the lineup in the auction field, you know.
And the people who benefit the most are really the owners. The owners make way more money than the individual players. The owners are billionaires. The players are millionaires. So
of course, brother. Let me run this one for you real quick. Hold on.
Sunday, but was built on segregation every day before that. Like the same league that preaches inspired change used to literally ban black players. Not unofficially, not quietly, but deliberately. That's the part the NFL doesn't like to replay. Because football might be America's favorite sport, but it's also one of its most American stories, built on race, profit, and power. When professional football started in the early 1900s, there were only a handful of black players, men like Fritz Pollard and Bobby Marshall. Pollard was so good they couldn't ignore him. The first black head coach in NFL history back in 1921. But by 1933, that all changed. Team owners, led by Washington's George Preston Marshall, quietly agreed to ban black players from the league. No rules written down, just racism enforced by a handshake. And for 12 years, not a single black player was allowed to suit up. They called it maintaining the image of the game. But what they meant was keep it white for the fans. The ban didn't end until 1946, a year before Jackie Robinson integrated baseball. That's when the Los Angeles Rams wanted to use the city's public stadium. And black journalists and activists said, not unless you integrate. That pressure forced the Rams to sign Kenny Washington and Woody Strode, both UCLA legends who have been shut out of the league for a decade. And just like that, football had its integration moment. But it wasn't progress out of conscience. It was progress out of pressure. And that became the NFL's pattern. Even after the ban ended, discrimination didn't. Black players.
Okay. Progress out of pressure, right? Glock. So you know what I think about that? I think about the 14th Amendment.
the amendment that gave the descendants of slaves citizenship.
But everybody else, because they always run that on us about how
Right.
we gave you this, but it was out of pressure about how YT people were were treating their property, right? At the
Right.
time.
True.
But
True.
same thing in the football league. It was done because they had no other choice. But again, the 14th Amendment, before any African recent immigrant came here, the 14th Amendment helped the white woman get rights. The European immigrants to get in here, the ones that have no scope for, right? And then lastly, the African immigrants now, but those are the ones that they're barking at. So I wanted to highlight that for you because this is the parallels that I see.
And after the ban ended, discrimination didn't. Black players could play, but not lead. They were steered away from the thinking positions like a quarterback or a coach. Scouts called them natural athletes, but never strategic minds. In the 1970s, Black players dominated the field, but team ownership stayed nearly 100% white. In the 1980s and 90s, every Black quarterback was treated like a social experiment. Doug Williams won the Super Bowl MVP in 1988. And white commentators asked how it felt to be a Black quarterback. Fast forward to today. Black athletes make up about 60 to 70% of the NFL's players, but there's only a handful of Black coaches and 0 Black majority owners. They love our labor, they just don't trust our leadership. So yeah, football looks like unity now. End zones painted with end racism, commercials about justice and players taking a knee. But behind all that PR is a sport built on the same hierarchy that it claims to resist. From Fritz Pollard to Colin Kaepernick to Shedeur Sanders, every era of football had its own way of punishing Black excellence. First with bans, then with bias, then with silence. Because in America, even when a scoreboard says equal, the system still calls the plays.
So poetic with it. And then this is, I'll play this one. Maybe I don't want to take up too much time, but I did want to. I did want you to hear this. This one is more like nationalism, and you can see this with the Black American rhetoric about everything that the military does and how it's been indoctrinated. But let me play it.
U.S. military had a recruitment partnership, and nobody bothered to tell the public. So I was looking up something earlier, and the whole time I'm sitting there like, oh, so we were never supposed to catch this, were we? Because a lot of the patriotic traditions that we grew up seeing during NFL games, they weren't traditions, they were marketing. And here's where it gets weird, and by weird, I mean completely predictable. Those giant flag ceremonies, the emotional soldier homecomings, the pre-game salutes, the tributes, and the military hype moments that some of us really thought were spontaneous, a lot of them were paid for. Not by sponsors, not by teams, by the Department of Defense and the National Guard, aka your tax dollars. Not as charity, not as a thank you. These were line item recruitment expenses. It was literally, we pay you, you put this on the field, young men watching feel something, and recruitment goes up. And the Senate's official phrase, not mine, the Senate said that it was paid patriotism. So let me give you the receipts because this is not debatable. Between 2011 and 2015, the Pentagon spent over $53 million in sports marketing deals. The NFL alone got $6.8 million for things like on-field troop tributes, halftime honor ceremonies, surprise reunion videos, players reading pre-written thank yous, service members running out of the tunnel, patriotism baked right into the broadcast. These weren't random gestures, y'all. They were deliverables written into contracts, measured, tracked, evaluated. This was not tradition, this was advertising. And here's the part that says everything about how propaganda works in this country. Most people had no idea that these moments were sponsored. The NFL didn't disclose it. Networks presented it like it just happened. The military didn't exactly volunteer the truth either. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the Pentagon was tracking the emotional impact like a metric. Did it boost interest in enlistment? Yeah? Okay. Do it again. And when the Senate exposed it and made the NFL stop taking the money, the visuals didn't change. Because by that point, the association was already built. Football equals patriotism equals military. The marketing had finished its job. So yeah, next time you see a flyover or a field-sized flag, this is the context. It might still feel moving. It might look patriotic. People might genuinely tear up. And all of that's real. Yeah, I'm not going to take that from you. But the moment itself, it didn't come from tradition. It came from a contract. A PR pipeline built to make military service feel familiar, emotional, and normal, especially to young men watching at home. Now, whether you see that as strategic or manipulative, or just America being America, that's up to you. But the truth is simple. A lot of what we grew up calling patriotism was really marketing.
And okay, this is the last one, Block. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but you spearheaded it with the Nigerian brother that. I mean, if it wasn't for African, all these Black American athletes wouldn't be getting these payouts from their damages, bro. And even the association trying to try to contradict him or try to say that it was a African Nigerian brother who had to put it out there for Black America. I mean, Glock, am I tripping when I say like what Africans have done for Black Americans at this point?
The way I see it, Black Americans are Africans in my
Of course, of course.
So I don't make that distinction.
No, I hear you, Glock. But you know what I mean, though. You know, when I'm talking about FBAs, like looking at African people that have not contributed anything, right? When they think about African people, and I don't know, was he first generation, second generation, or just like he just showed up? He was an immigrant.
Dr. Amalu, I think he went to medical school and did residency in the United States somewhere, and became a neuropathologist, and became famous after noticing the histology and abnormal pathology of people's brains who received a lot of trauma. So he tied it all together.
Yeah, and he showed how all this fucking labor, right? All this labor for entertainment, right? That we weren't aware of, just like we weren't aware of our condition or how we had to work for other people, had a negative effect on our physical, our mental, right? And every aspect of our life. But also what I wanted to say with that is that how so quick they are to support people that are paying them out. So they shut their mouth, they don't talk, they're obedient. The whole conditioning, the whole domestication, right? The whole you see it with Black athletes that don't speak up, like Kaepernick, right? Or they stay neutral, or they don't speak at all until they make their next move, whether they get traded to another fucking team. You know when they say Africans sold other Africans.
But you know what's crazy? There's a lot
I think of the draft. Go ahead, Glock. Sorry.
There's a lot of bi-ethnics out there. People like me who have one African parent, one Black American parent, and they're second and third generation Africans. So Africans are already here. We're already in the mix. We're already integrated into the system that most people don't see us. We're in plain sight. Like if you listen to me speak, you won't know that I was born in Nigeria, and you won't unless you see my government name. You'll have no clue that I'm African.
We're in the same boat, Glock.
So people,
no, but that's part of a simulation, right, Glock? We did as much as we could, right? And even though, like, I didn't know how to speak English until I got to high school, so just imagine that, right? But even then, like, so part of a simulation is you assimilating to America, whether that's Black America, code switch to white tea America, like you still have to do that assimilation. So they're like, don't assimilate. You're a tether. You can never be like us. You can never talk like us. Even when they force us to only speak English and don't speak any other language, because again, this is a xenophobic kind of mindset, right, Glock? So they want you to assimilate, but at the same time, they want to point you out and target you. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
so I
weird.
feel like that's how.
They want you to be on code, meaning they want you to assimilate. But if you assimilate, then you're cosplaying. You
Yeah,
see what
yeah.
I'm
You're
saying?
tethered. Yeah, of
You're a
course, bro.
tether. So okay, if they want you to act like they act, right? They want you to speak like they speak. But if you do that,
It's
then you're
offensive.
a
Yeah, yeah.
cosplaying tether, and you're not. You know, they now they want to gatekeep you. So it's like
Right.
they're doing both things at the same
It's the
time.
same thing that the Europeans did to the other minority European immigrant. Remember, because they're all on code when it comes to them being white. They're all in the same. Like even though they're fighting amongst each other, they all know that they all pick the same box of white because white is geographical location, and now they're all European, and now they're all on code. Our issue is we can't come all on code with black because now they want to monopolize black. They want to be premium black American Negroes, and
Yeah,
now all these other black people from the diaspora that they complain about them not being black while they push them away from being black or American, right? Because now we have the anchor thing, right? So I gotta be here for 300, 400 years to be an American? No, that's not how the law works,
that's
right? But
crazy. Yeah,
that's their narrative. That's their narrative.
it's like okay, if I retain my Igbo identity,
Yeah.
then I eat bush meat. I practice open defecation. I'm all these negative associations with Africa.
Right.
If I assimilate into American society, somehow, if I
You're
wear
cosplaying.
I'm cosplaying. Even if I wear a suit and jacket, somehow I'm cosplaying FBA. I don't get it. If I, it's like
Yeah,
they have
they call
centered
that a monkey
themselves.
suit, Glock, for a reason, right? Because even Black Americans are copying. I mean, I don't know where the suit originates from, but
Yeah.
I mean, any cloth or anything that is again, they wear the team's jersey, Glock. This is what I'm saying, bro.
All right.
They're not allowed to wear. Remember the basketball thing? Remember Allen Iverson? He could not wear his hood shit, even if he was benched. He had to wear like a suit and tie, right? And they would
Right.
find the players every time they showed up with the chains and the do rags.
But somehow wearing
And you know that. Yeah, go ahead.
like
Sorry.
my wife wears. She's an attorney. Well, she was an attorney before she became a mother and a housewife. But she wears Ralph Lauren clothes. So is wearing Ralph Lauren cosplaying FBAs? Is wearing any famous
Fancy.
label maker? Is that like why is it cosplaying
Right.
to
So
dress
Black
like
Americans
to
always
wear a European designer or wear an American designer? How is that
exactly
cosplaying
Gucci.
FBAs?
Exactly. So they're trying to gatekeep something that
They don't own.
that is gate kept from them ownership,
And even black, they didn't call
and they
themselves black.
emulate it because right. Oh my God! Wait,
Can
say
you
that again,
imagine?
Claude.
Okay, imagine. Okay, black people in America went from colored to Negro to black to African American. It's a euphemism that all describes the same people, people who come from Africa,
They got
right?
nationality at the end of it all. Yeah.
Right. And they say that, okay, they were reclassified. But being reclassified means that they didn't select these names for themselves. So they are gatekeeping a name that they didn't even call themselves. So they're gatekeeping the white man's name for them. And they want to be the only one that is referred to by what the white man named them.
Right. That reminds me here. Let me share this one with you, Glock. So this is Tariq Nasheed speaking about how the brand of a runaway slave, right? And these brands that people wear when we're talking about clothing, right? Designer, right? And how even their names, right? Their last names, their first names, Smith, whatever, they're proud of that, like, House Negro title, or like their premium blackness compared to another slave owner's plantation. But hear Tyreek talk about the Saints brand here.
During slavery on plantations out here in Louisiana, during slavery on plantations just like this, the French was dominating this area. And whenever there were black people who ran away from the plantations, they would get branded. And the brand would be a logo of the French heraldry. It's the fleur de lis. And they would get branded on their shoulder, or they would get branded on their cheek with this fleur de lis logo. And what's interesting about this logo, now this same logo for the New Orleans Saints football team. So a football team dominated by black people playing today are walking around with logos of runaway slaves.
And let me play this one for you too. I know, bro. I know. Okay, hear this brother talk about how this is a black American brother talking about a black athlete and breeding. Okay, hear this one.
They ask you,
he's talking to his sons. He's talking to his sons. Okay.
What's the question that they ask you most about how you got 3 kids to go D1 and 2 in the NFL?
They want to know, in general, how I did it. I believe in breeding. Look at you. Good athlete. I'm black. Mom's white. Now, I don't step on it once. You can't keep stepping on it because you're going to mess it up. You're going to weaken it.
You can't keep cutting it?
Can't keep cutting it. No, you and Brooklyn, because Brooklyn's half.
If I
cut
cut
a chance.
If I cut it one more time, it's over?
You can't keep cutting it. You got to be careful. You can't keep cutting it. You got to think about that. You know what I mean? No.
I like how he's dead ass.
If I'm black, I got the black gold running through my veins. Oh, I'm excited. I'm just going to find the right person to mate with. Right? And if I'm white, I'm saying, let me get one of these brothers around here. If you want to have athletes. If you don't want to have athletes, then just go ahead and just spread your seed wherever.
So why'd you cut it once? What else? Because you could.
I know I can cut it once.
Because he's gold.
I got that black gold in me, and mama got that big chin and big toes. I said, look, ain't nothing wrong with big toe woman.
Big chin. Who says a big chin?
You got to think of this stuff. Some guys don't think of it until later. They go, like I'm standing at Pop Warner. You wouldn't know it. You on the field, one of you guys on the field playing. And I was talking to a guy, told him this story. He goes, you were thinking about that, John? I go, yeah, you weren't? He goes, hell no. I go, man, he's little, the wife is little, kids are little, everybody's little.
It's over?
Little.
FBAs are scared to come up here and ask. I feel like we just got AX. Come up here, bro. I'm sure you're going to be qualified enough to speak on these issues. I got one more for you.
Trouble asks a really good question. Okay. She still wants to know how he picked. She still wants to know how he picked the name Nasheed for his last name. That's a good question. Why would a foundational Black American pick that name, an Arabic name, Tariq Nasheed? Isn't he tethering to Arabs now? Like, why? How come nobody is not calling him out for cosplaying Arabs with that name? But go ahead. It's a good question.
That's a good question.
That's not an FBA name. It's not an FBA name. He could at least have an FBA name.
Trouble, come up, please. We have talked about this. You're 100% right, though. Yeah, so he was a Pan-Africanist, right? And he was a Moor as well, right? He's one of the Maroons, right? So during that transition, he switched his name up. You know, he got a different name.
Hey.
Alaikum
salam. No, Nasheed is interesting because Nasheed is like Islamic poetry. So it's not a common name either for like a Muslim.
But Tyreek, what country is that from? Is that like North Africa, Morocco?
There's another Arabic name.
Yes, it sounds like Arabic.
Yeah,
right?
so the Tyreek, the tariffs, right? Tyreek,
I
So the
think
guy that founded Alan Deleuze. Oh, go ahead, Trouble.
I think it's a variation of Tarek.
Right, right. And it comes from tariffs, right? I believe the like the original term of tariffs.
I have no clue. That's not a name we use.
Tyreek,
I'm
I've only heard that name in people who practice Islam. I've never heard a Christian Tariq.
Yeah, Trouble. But Tyreek was the name of the guy that founded Al-Andalus. Like he's the one that crossed over to Europe, right, and made it.
I don't know. Let me look.
Tariq means history. Ovi says. Here, I'll look too, because I'm pretty sure about this whole tariff thing. But here, let me look too. Glock, can you introduce the new guy?
Salute. We have a new panelist, Real Tampa Kid 25.
Yeah, you're right.
What's your race, your ethnicity, and what do you have on the prompt or anything that you've heard so far? Go ahead.
Good afternoon, y'all. I'm Black. My mom and dad's from Cameroon, but I was born in Jacksonville, Florida. What else you was about to say? What do I think about the prompt? Right?
Yeah, or anything you've heard so far discussed.
Oh, shoot. Well, Tyreek, she just had a whole trip to Senegal. And, that's what made the FBA's, mad, because they didn't think that their leader will go out his way to go have a blast in Senegal and eat some good old jollof rice. You feel me? So, yeah. And they even mad at IShowSpeed for like showing their true African culture and actually going to Africa and, making a deep connection with, the Africans that he saw over there. So, the FBA that triggers them that, he's over there showing the good side of them instead of the bad side. So yeah, that's what I got to say about that.
All right, thank you, Real. Yeah, we know he's over there eating jollof rice. Using all that FBA TikTok money to
Yeah, I
go
saw
travel the world.
he was there grinning over a shiny plate of jollof with bushmeat. It's really interesting that he hates Africans so badly, but he's on the continent. I think he's just grifting off of IShowSpeed's success in Africa. He's just like trying to hop on that bandwagon because IShowSpeed is
trying
killing.
to be a streamer, Glock.
Exactly. He's tethering to IShowSpeed.
And let me just say this too. IShowSpeed is not a FBA. He's proud of his African roots. Even his father was talking about how he was an African. He has roots in America, and I gotta replay that video. But IShowSpeed told his dad, "You're African, brother." Like, and I feel like, everywhere IShowSpeed went in Africa, he found a twin in every country.
God, yes.
Sure.
Yes.
And it's so funny. It's so like,
especially in
so
Tanzania.
amazing.
When he was in Tanzania,
Yeah.
he found somebody who looked exactly like him, bro. What? That's crazy.
Right. And I feel like it was. Oh, sorry, I'm echoing.
My fault.
No, you're good. You're good. I just feel like he confirmed everything that he was believing in, and if it wasn't that, if he didn't feel connected to Africa, he wouldn't have never done that tour. You know what I mean? He would have
Wait, his
believed
dad?
he would have believed all that bullshit. Go ahead, Trouble.
His dad is FBA? Or he
His
just
dad. I'll run the tape back for you, Trouble. But his dad was trying to convince him.
I think he's a pretendian or something.
Well, kind of Glock. I can't even call it that but he was saying like all my family came from America. Like I'm not from Africa. And IShowSpeed was going back and forth with him. Yeah. If you guys haven't seen it, I'd be happy to share it with you guys. But yeah. So long story short, all I'm saying is Tariq Nasheed is trying to take some of this energy that IShowSpeed got with all the love in Africa. I think the last thing that Tariq Nasheed, he was in Mexico before he went to Africa with all that FBA.
Wait, he's in Africa too, like right now?
Yeah,
He's
they
In
just
so
got a picture of him.
Senegal.
funny.
In Senegal.
Yeah, either way, he again, just to all the let it be clear to all the FBAs, okay? FBAs know that they have lineage in Africa. Any fucking FBA claiming that they're not African, just let it be known right now that Tariq Nasheed has no problem on his website and in his own actions right now in Africa claiming Africa. You fake FBAs claiming you're indigenous or you're not you're FBA, but you're not African. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I'll land.
Can I say something though? I don't think I'm not begging anybody to be African. If you are indigenous, if your grandma told you you're Indian, then that's fine with me. Not everybody. I think Africa should be more exclusive. I wouldn't even want FBAs to be associated. I don't want to be associated with FBAs. So I'm inclined to let them be indigenous, let them be, claim whatever tribe they want to claim. So if you say you're Blackfoot or whatever it is, Choctaw, then that's you. Then I'm happy for you to
It's
go
between
and associate.
genealogy and your God, right? Whatever your phrase, right?
Right.
And so look at this guy, FBA Godzilla. FBA are the only American. No, YT people are your former slave master. Those are the original FWAs, right? And
Yeah,
those,
actually, do the FWAs agree with that? That they're going to
and
tell
that's
you.
why I have them up on the prompt. Exactly, Log.
Right. Oh my God. You know what's crazy? I think FBAs need to show leadership when it comes to joining the military and defending the country that they built. So where's the FBA leadership when it comes to, answering the call to duty and defending the country that you built? I know
never heard of that.
Yeah, where it's all about they're patriotic when it comes to reparations, but not when it comes to defending the country, picking up a gun and going to another country to fight other people.
It's true. It's facts. Yeah, I never seen the FBA talk bad about the military, nor talk good about the military. Like I'm surprised that they never bring it up. Well, for me, I never seen one bring it up.
Yeah, they want to vote the couch and they want to. This is not our fight. Everything. They will have a very passive stance when it comes to defending the nation that they want to gatekeep, which is very interesting. So if you're that patriotic, why don't you should be the first one jumping up to answer the call of duty? But that's not them. They're only patriotic if it comes to maybe getting reparations, and that's it.
Right. So they're fighting amongst their own because again they always punch down, they never punch up, right? So like FBA said, we fought every war we fought. Again, who set the precedence for the war? Who sent you out there on the front line?
Yeah, who put you on the
used
front
you
line
as
to
a
get
sacrifice?
You're cannon fodder put out there to take the heaviest casualties, and you're bragging that a global empire put you on the front line to be unalived. And for a country you were segregated in and not seen as full citizens until just recently. So I don't know what we're bragging about.
Just FBA talking about karma. If anybody got karma,
So here I'm gonna invite him up. You coward ass nigga, come on up, FBA Godzilla. Yeah, so much shit to say in the comments.
If FBA's run shit, then why they still sundown towns? Riddle me that. The fuck?
Have you served in the military, sir?
Who?
This man that said every war we fought in.
He wants to brag about what his ancestors did, not anything that he actually did. If you notice, their greatest accomplishments are in the past. The greatest thing that they ever did is something that they didn't actually do. So imagine you want reparations for something your ancestors suffered. Your greatest accomplishments are things that your ancestors did. But you yourself as an individual, you can't be bothered with anything like that.
Look how they treat YT veterans. All right, let's just leave it at that. Like at the end of the day, they don't.
They just leave homeless on the side of the street.
Africa.
Hmm?
Well, she's a coward. Come on up too. Come on up.
Why y'all so
China.
angry?
For real, they're so scared too. I don't know why they won't get up. What they're going.
All right, China. Can I get you to introduce yourself with your race, your ethnicity, where you're from, please? China, you there? You can.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, sister, can you introduce yourself with your race, your ethnicity, where you're from?
Yes, I'm an American, and I'm from the South. I'm from the Southern region.
Okay, white American, black American, which one?
I'm an American.
Sister,
What's
I
your
need a
race?
race and an ethnicity, and I know where you're from now, but please work with us, all right, China?
Mhm. I'm an Indigenous American.
Indigenous.
Yes.
What tribe do you come from? What's the name of your tribe?
I choose not to answer that. I choose not to
Because
disclose
you don't have a
that.
tribe, that's why you choose not to answer.
Yes,
All
no,
right,
I
China.
choose not to
China,
disclose
we're
that
gonna give you.
information.
Okay, China.
I don't
China,
have to
what do
tell
you
you
mean
what
by what do you
tribe.
mean by fuck? What do you mean by fuck Africa, China?
Because the thing about it is, I don't like when people sit up here, even though I coincide with being indigenous, I don't like when people attack FBAs for gatekeeping the lineage or telling the truth.
So you
The truth is
indigenous
the truth.
protecting
Man, y'all got
FBAs,
brain
China?
rot, man.
Come on,
What
man.
you
We
Let's not
mean?
be
do. We just
brain
respond to
rot.
FBAs that talk
We
crazy.
Look,
FBA.
again,
We're the
here y'all
same
go.
people. We the same
China,
people.
no, here you fucking go.
Just like
here
it.
you fucking go.
How
So
are
here
you the
you are,
same people when you're indigenous?
I got a Glock. So you're presenting yourself. You're a coward. You're a closeted FBA, or you're indigenous, and
Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute.
Hold on. You're defending what? This is the issue I have with pretendians, right?
Coward.
Hold
Y'all
on,
share the same
sister.
brain.
Sorry. I didn't mean you, China. I meant like the whole group, right? I love how y'all come to the protection of FBAs that shit on Africans, even though you guys claim to be American, have nothing to do with FBAs. Because let me remind you guys, the FBAs have ancestors and descendants from Africa. You can't protect the FBA and shit on Africans because the FBAs. Look at Tyreek right now. Look at Tyreek right now. He's eating jollof rice.
Okay,
and
he's
an
always
African,
visit
sister.
Africa. He's always went over there.
So
And
FBAs are Africans. All right,
no,
China?
they're not. No, they're not. They're a new group
here
of
you
people
go.
now.
So you're delusional. You're confused about what a fucking FBA. Go read up
Why
on
are
the
you
FBA
cussing?
website.
Why are you cussing?
I'm
Because they're
sorry,
talking
China.
crazy.
I'm sorry.
They're
I'm a
talking
little
crazy.
upset.
That's
I'm a
why.
little upset.
What you
I don't-
upset about? Because we not Africans? We're
You
not
said
generic
fuck Africa.
Africans?
You said
No.
fuck Africa. That's
What
what
if
the
I
fuck
said
I'm
fuck
upset about.
Chicago? What if I
But
said fuck
I
Detroit?
don't care about you saying
Fuck a
Chicago.
pretendian.
What about New
Fuck a
Orleans?
pretendian, China. Listen.
It's just
I'm
weird.
mad.
It's just weird. You
Here,
don't
let me
know.
Say
let
whatever
me
you
You
want
don't.
to say.
hold
It's
on,
weird
China.
because you
I
don't know
want this to be
who.
productive. Trouble. I want this to be productive. I'm sorry, China, to cuss at you. I'm really just coming at the people that shit on Africans. You commented, "Fuck Africa," okay? So we're gonna fuck you right back. You know, we're gonna give you the same smoke.
F us right back, cause baby,
It don't. It
Black
really. At this
Hold on a
point,
Americans,
minute.
No,
we
they're
Hold
got
on a
actually
wait a
minute.
going to
minute.
do
let's
that.
be.
Hold on.
They
Hold
hold
I'm
on.
on.
gonna
Let
let
me
my
Hold on.
say
sister. I'm
something.
gonna let
Let
my
me say
sister
why is
Trouble.
everybody talking? Let me say
I'm gonna let my
something.
sister Trouble talk to you.
Hold on.
'Cause,
Okay, first of all, on that
if you get muted, stay muted,
y'all
please.
been
Those are my moms.
Just let her. Let her. Go ahead. I'll let her go. Go ahead.
I don't know who's
they've been
muted.
reaping the benefits what our ancestors paved the way for. So what you mean?
FBAs are reaping the
What
benefits.
ancestors, ma'am? You're
No,
indigenous.
no.
Ma'am, you're
Listen, this
indigenous,
is what
ma'am.
I'm
Exactly. You have nothing to
saying.
do with
So
FBAs. You have
yes, I
nothing to do with
do. Yes,
FBAs.
I
You have
do.
nothing
Yes,
to
I
do with
do. Yes, I
ma'am.
do. Because if you listen and stop thinking you know everything, then you can hear what I gotta say.
Ma'am, just because you make shit up doesn't mean it's
I'm
true.
not making anything up. You don't want to listen. Y'all
Can we
have a
take it a step back?
problem.
Can we
Y'all
take
have
it a
a
All right,
step
we're
back?
gonna
problem
listen.
because
We're gonna
people are
China. Go
delineating.
ahead.
Let's take it a step
You
back.
got.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a
Let's just take it a
timeline.
step
I'm
Y'all
gonna
have
give
a
you 3
problem.
minutes. I'm gonna give you
Y'all
3
have a
minutes, China.
problem because people are deciding to delineate, and we don't want nobody.
No, ma'am.
We don't want nobody freeloading off the backs of our ancestors no more. That's the problem.
That's not an issue.
When have Africa ever helped us? Ain't nobody ever helped us, baby. We've always stood 10 toes down and
You
made
can't
sure
get
we
a
fed
check.
ourselves.
You
We fought
can't get a
our own
check
fight. We fought
without
our
being
own fight.
African
Ain't nobody
descendant.
come and help us. What is you talking about?
So keep
It's
fighting that good
always
fight.
been us for us.
And
Ain't
now you're
nobody
gonna
ever
have to
put a
deal
foot in
with
and help
white tea people.
us.
You're gonna have to deal with African immigrants. You're gonna have to deal with everybody. You're alone.
No, we're not alone. We are the most resilient people on the universe.
Lies,
What are you
lies,
talking
lies,
about?
lies, lies.
No, what
FBAs
have your
are
people done for you?
Yes, sir.
You suffer
FBAs
from
call
black
you a
fragility.
pretendian. FBAs call you a pretendian, China. They call you
Don't no
pretendians.
FBA say that.
Don't know
That's a
FBA.
Pan-African term.
Oh, Pan-African
my
term.
God.
That's how she sound like, man.
FBAs don't say that to one another.
To one another.
I don't know if she
Anyway,
knows what
I
an
just
I
want
don't
to
FBA
make a
is.
point.
understand. What are you talking about?
Okay,
What are you
I
talking
want
about? They don't say pretendians. They
to
come
take it
from
a step back.
Pan-Africans and Africans
Take it a
and
step
Native
back, okay?
Americans.
You don't know who we
What
came across,
FBAs
right?
you talking about?
Ma'am,
Stop lying on FBAs. Y'all be trying to cause
You can
divisions
mute her.
between
are
You
you
can mute her
us.
for a
are
little
you
bit.
are
We
you done?
notice that's what y'all be doing. No.
You ain't
You
saying
got a lot
nothing
of
that we haven't
FBAs
heard
that
before.
claim that they are indigenous as well. What are you talking about?
Right? They can't get that reparations check
Don't
from
don't
the
worry
white
about
key man
our
because the white key
reparations.
man
They not
only
for you.
recognizes, right?
They
So
not for you.
listen. Your white tea former slave master is not for me. You're right. You're 100% right.
I didn't have
I
a
don't
white
have
tea
anything
slave
to do with.
owner. I didn't have a white tea slave
Hey,
owner,
listen.
sir.
The only way you're gonna get the reparations check, you want a reparations check or not?
No, we don't want reparations. We want
All right, you're not an
restitutions.
FBA. FBAs want
No,
that
we
check.
want
All right, if you're
restitutions. I
indigenous, you
just
already got
told you
that
I'm
check.
Yeah, dude,
indigenous.
they
You're
want that
not
check,
you're
man.
not part of
And
the five civilized
I just
tribes.
They
told
want
you
the
what I
check,
am.
man.
I
You're
just
not
told
part
you
of the
what I
five
am.
civilized.
Where
What
were
is your
you at
tribe?
when
You
the
didn't say.
Indian? Where
You
were you
never
at when
said
the
the tribe.
Indians were getting reparations, man? Where were you at when the Indians were getting reparations and casinos?
Ain't
How
no,
come you
and they
didn't
ain't
collect?
gave. Hold on, first of all, they
Where were you at?
they ain't give the land back to the Indians yet. I don't know what you're
Okay,
talking about.
Listen,
so
Indian
okay,
is a
ma'am,
misnomer, ma'am.
you're
With
indigenous, right?
African American, so it's the term African
Okay,
American.
ma'am, you're not African American. I'm happy that you're
Exactly.
not
Let alone
African
So
American.
if we're gonna say Indian is a misnomer, so is the term African American,
So
and we
is
never wanted to
indigenous.
call ourselves that.
Indigenous to
We never
Africa.
wanted
That's
exactly.
what we claiming.
Albert,
That's
no,
what we
I'm not
claiming.
from Africa. My family,
Well,
I
we
got
are. We are. You're on
paperwork.
an African
I
panel.
have paperwork
You're
to
on an
prove that
African
my folks
panel.
been here.
You're on
My
an
folks been
African
here,
panel.
sir.
I thought you knew. I thought you knew you were on an African panel. Did you think you were on an indigenous?
It don't matter. You brought me up.
Okay,
It does matter,
we
Cynthia. We have to make it clear.
You want an
You
echo
can't be
chamber?
hollering.
You want
can't
an
be
echo
hollering.
chamber?
I just want to know what you're so
No, but
upset
you're not
about.
teaching us. You're not teaching
You want
us
an
shit,
echo
Cynthia.
chamber?
okay.
Or
Why are
you're
you
not
so
teaching us
angry
anything.
with your Indian? Why can't you just be?
Matter.
That's how
You're not.
FBAs
You're not a
are.
very.
The colonizer.
You're
That's
not
how
a happy
FBAs
Indian.
are.
You're not a happy Indian at all. Why don't you
FBAs are want to
go?
be
At least
Yeah.
FBAs recognize that
Why
they're
don't you eat your
African.
cornbread, do your
This
powwow,
is
and be
FBA.
happy?
Exactly. Go eat your alligator.
Hit the
Oh my,
TV up,
y'all are
shoot
so
the bow and
silly.
arrow. Do what you do, sisters.
Yeah,
Smoke
we
the
did all that.
chicha,
It sounds
smoke the
like y'all mad
tobacco.
because
That's
nobody
fine.
is
That's
with the
fine.
Pan African movement.
I'm
Nobody.
not even a
It's like,
Pan
You're
African
not. You're
myself, so I
not.
don't know what you're
Okay.
talking about.
ma'am,
You're
I'm
not
not
as
Pan African.
united.
You're not Pan Africans.
Okay.
Ma'am, we've already delineated.
They're
I'm
not. They're
Igbo.
not Pan
You
Americans.
can't. What you
Lock. They're not
delineating
even
from?
Pan
Y'all
Americans.
I'm
ain't
Igbo,
delineating from
ma'am.
nothing.
Ma'am, I am Igbo. I am not you. You're not me.
Right. Exactly.
So,
I'm
so
not African. So
you
yeah.
be Indian. That's fine. I'm Igbo.
So what is there to learn
Delineation
from
has
you,
already
China?
happened.
What is there to learn from you, China?
Who's talking to me right now?
What is there to learn from you? What are you
Well, okay.
bringing to
So
this
what do you want to
conversation?
know besides
I
asking
don't
me
want
what
to
I am?
know.
What do you want to
We
know?
already know. We already know what it is. It's fine. I mean, like, what do you want to bring to us, African, besides saying "fuck Africa" on the comments, right? Because we know you don't have
Okay.
shit to bring up to this table.
No. Okay. So what do you want to know?
So I already know that you said
what's
fuck
up
Because
with
we
you?
Africans.
already
You
What was
know
the
already
we not
explained
getting
hostility
yourself.
shit from
for?
Right?
y'all.
Hold
We
on.
already
Hold
know
What was
y'all
on.
the
don't have shit
hostility
to
for
So
contribute
when
to
we
here,
came
America.
in?
that's fine.
But
That's fine. We know you don't have shit to
Can I
offer to
quickly
this.
ask
Okay, let's go ahead
something?
and introduce
I still
Ryan.
want to
Let's go
know
ahead
like
and
what
introduce.
she was hostile
Can I
for.
quickly ask something?
I get it. Hold on, Ryan. We have to introduce you, my brother. Sorry.
Okay, so we got a new panelist. We got Ryan. Please tell the panel what is your race, your ethnicity, and what are your thoughts on the prompt or what you've heard so far. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a Herero from the black race in the continent of Africa in a country called Namibia. That's where I come from. In my
Okay.
country, the black race there has about 11 tribes, and then we have a white race that consists of the Afrikaner, the offsprings of the Dutch, and then we have the Germans, and then we have just a few people whose lineage, trace back to the British. I don't know whether they're Scots or Welsh or whatever, but roughly that's where I come from. So I'm from the black race, from a black tribe that survived the German genocide. 80% of our people were killed there. But coming to this prompt, who really decides your job or position in America? Of course, it goes for most parts of the world. The people who decide these things are the YT. Most people from our background have never really had the opportunity to decide their own fate. So everything, economics and whatever, even when black people try and revolt, the YT people would normally put sanctions on their countries and make them live miserable lives. And then they put some sort of systems in place where they take charge of land and so forth. So it's the same in Africa, where I come from, and it's the same in the West. It's the YT people in charge of all the systems, in charge of the economics, in charge of the social systems, like policing and so forth. And so
That's a good.
problem number two. So problem number two: if the NFL owner benches a FBA over Taylor, do you get a vote? Of course not. Of course not. You don't get a vote. You don't have a say in those matters, right?
True.
And then if football is a white-owned sport, how is America any different? It's not any different. System is the same everywhere. If married matters, why fear Africans? The fear of Africans, I think it's. I can understand why Africans are feared too, because it's like where you have a certain group of people who have a tight noose around resources, and then you have people in the queue, and other people come into that queue. Then the people who were already lining up will have to turn against the newcomers, because if the newcomers jump that queue. But at the end of the day, the people in charge of the resources are the same. So that we fear black people because it's more people coming to compete for the same resources. But even when African black people were not there, most probably the black or anybody associated with them their fate is roughly sealed, and I don't know until when. It's the same systems, right? So that's my take.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's really a competition for resources, but they make it seem that way. So we have to go after each other rather than deal with them. Did you want to add something, Octavius? Tether thinking?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In America, FBAs really are a contingent people whose fate depends on what the YT people will do for them or will say. But they will have you believe that, you have to check in with them, like they gatekeep and they run things here, when that's not really the case. I mean, they talk about, let's say scholarships, right? They say, I've heard FBA complain that Africans are taking scholarships that are put aside for black people, right? But we are black people, and scholarships are determined based on test scores and grade point average. So if we are black people who get high enough test scores and high enough grade point average to qualify for a scholarship, then I don't understand why you're mad if we have scholarships. So to me, it's crazy to think that they want to have a monopoly on what it means to be black, and they want to gatekeep black. Like somehow to be black is to have to be a descendant of slavery in America, not to be African descent. And that's one thing that really makes me upset, because everybody knows that being black means that you descend from Africa, not that you were enslaved in America, in our land.
Hello?
Yeah. Welcome, Mr. About to ask. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm a Black American, mid 20s.
Did you want to answer the prompt, or did you want to add to the conversation?
I mean, I want to kind of stay on topic with what y'all was talking about. There was a lot to debunk right there. Like the identity, the global blackness, the term being black, that was popularized by Black Americans. We were the first people to really call ourselves that. In Africa, y'all was going by tribes. You could look that up too. Even Google will tell you. Black Americans popularized the term blackness.
Yeah, but I mean, we all have like in our own languages the same like Black identity, just in different words. You know what I mean?
No, you guys got
we have
tribes.
we do have tribes, but like
We also have a
people.
racial category. So in Igbo, black is Agburu Oji, white is Oyibo. So we have racial categories in our
Moreno
tribe.
in Spanish. Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys never went by a collective term of
So
blackness. And when y'all started
you're
doing that, we made it cool.
How
Like
do you
we
know
made it
that?
like
so
pop.
you made
It's not
the
true.
Germanic term black cool. You made a white T language term of melanin cool.
Yeah, because
You
that's
made
what we are.
you made Negro cool.
I mean, what tribe are you from?
Okay, hold on.
What does that matter? What does that matter?
Here
Let me
you fucking go,
let me say something
Mr.
real
I mean,
quick.
you come over here,
Go
you
ahead, Glock.
identify
Go
as
ahead, Glock.
that. You're coming over to
Okay,
America
Bro,
and
I
being
will
a part of the
drag
system.
you. Okay.
Hold on one sec. We have to understand where these racial categories come from.
Here with me. You think
Hang on, just let me give me 30 seconds and then I'll mute up and you can respond. So the 1600s, the modern concept of Negroid, Caucasoid, Mongoloid, and Australasian these were white supremacists came up with these racial categories that you are trying to monopolize. So the white supremacists put themselves in the white T category, the Caucasoid category, that is the supreme category that's close to the angels, and they put the Negroid category all the way at the bottom near the animals. And they put all types of associations with these categories in order to facilitate them dividing and conquering the world based on skin color. So this category that you are claiming that only applies to you was applied to everybody on the continent of Africa, which you descend from. So when they were saying Negroid, they were talking about people from Africa. The slaves
Property.
that came to America came from Africa too. That's how you got the name Negroid from Africans. But when they divided and conquered the world based on skin color, Negroid was for Africans. This is why Negroid, colored, Black, African American all applies to the same people, the people who come from Africa. So for you to now want to monopolize a term that is for Africans does not make sense. You understand how Black is bigger than African Americans? It's something that refers to Africans. This is the mistake that you continuously make, and it's doesn't make sense. And I land. Go ahead.
But why did you just try to equate Africans with being black then? You just tried to complain and say that Black Americans are the ones that act like everybody.
Mister, you have more an affinity to white T.
Let him answer. Why did you just try to equate?
He's not equating that.
You just said that Black Americans, y'all made this whole thing.
Okay, if you're an FBA, are you an FBA, mister?
Yes.
Okay, so FBAs descend from Africans. Their ancestry comes from Africa.
Okay, but why did you just go on this whole monologue about how white T people came up with these terms to put us at the bottom, right?
We're trying to explain how.
Hold on, let me finish, bro. You sat here and just cried and said that Black Americans, y'all act like y'all the only ones that are black.
No, we don't act like shit. Shut up. We don't act like shit, nigga. You just
hold on. The guy just was talking.
So I said premium black. You want to monopolize a term that was branded on you, mister, just like FBA that was branded to you as Tariq Nasheed branded y'all, right? You want to give more leverage to a term that was given
You know what?
to
You don't want to talk about branding, bro. If you're African, you don't want to talk about who branded who. If you want to do that game.
What's your name, mister? What's your name? What's your European name, mister?
White people taught y'all to write down their own letters.
What's your European name, mister? Where
are you from? Where are you from? Let's talk about your
mister. I'm asking the fucking questions here, or you can go back in the fucking comments.
Exactly.
All right.
Why is this deteriorating?
No. This is an African panel. You got to answer to Africans. Ain't nobody answering to no fucking FBA on my fucking panel. Shut the fuck up. You ain't running shit on nobody's shit. Go back to a fucking FBA panel, please. We're not gonna do that here.
They
Why are
be
they
acting
all
to a
so
title.
hostile?
What do I say, Trouble?
They're just all hostile. I don't understand.
They have something mentally is wrong with them. That's why I be trying not to laugh at them, because that could be something really
No,
wrong.
I think Locke did a really good job of trying to explain to him, right, about the history and where etymology comes from, where terms come from, where names come from, where ownership comes from. But they never want to learn that history. They rather go with whatever's fed to them now. And the new thing is to hate on Africans and African immigrants and immigrants in general. And that mimics this current administration against immigrants in general. Tethers, illegals, so on and so forth. Like, we're not new to this shit.
Yeah, they keep saying this false narrative that black started in America. When it was the Europeans who created these racial categories in the 1600s during the colonial period, where they were colonizing the whole planet, and they did this to facilitate, enslaving Africans and colonizing other countries.
Chattel slavery.
Right. So, but these FBAs think that, because the white T-man in America called me black, I own it. Not
Exactly.
forgetting the history of how is it that you got to America. That they colonized Nigeria. They called us black. They took some of us, brought over here to America, and called you black. But before we were black in Nigeria before you were black in America.
I'm pretty
Is
sure
that-
like my folks started like referring to themselves as black like when they encountered Chinese people,
right.
like, during Silk Road trade and stuff like that. So it's weird to hear Black Americans say, "Oh, like y'all never called yourself black until we popularized it." It's
Hold on.
As if
Hold on,
James Brown is what made black a thing.
Yeah.
Do you have a document of y'all doing that?
Hold on, Mr. Belt to ask. Let me put Belt to ask to you, right? I don't want you to put your name out there, but I'm pretty sure you have a European name. Your name's not like Loctavius Jenkins, is it? But regardless of the fact, I only prove this to say to you that back to shout out to Obi, right? The FBA is nothing but YT culture. It's a sub T YT culture because everything that's derived from it, which is indoctrination. I mean, it's 500 years, right? 400 years plus of that. Like, how do we not understand that there's some trauma attached to that, and how you guys think about your ancestors? You have more affinity to the white foundational white American than you ever do a brother and sister from the African continent. So we're just here to try to educate, at the end of the day. We can roast, we can talk shit too, but let's keep it constructive. I'll let you back up here, Mr. Belt. All right.
Yeah,
But,
let's try to keep it constructive, but don't throw like little jabs and say I'm crashing out when I get back on you, because you don't want to talk about who colonized who and how I'm impacted, because you guys got impacted too. So let's not do that. I can have a European name.
Statements, but you make statements implying stuff about us that's just not true.
Right.
Well, what does that imply that's not true?
Like
Trouble. Let me tell him this though. We kept our languages back in the continent of Africa, even though there are some countries in Africa that were colonized and that we speak their language now. There are aspects of Benin, Mali, Ethiopia, right? Like where we fought all European powers, right? Somalis, right? They fought the French. They fought British, right? They fought Italians, right? And they still kept their identity. Like, you have to value that.
Yeah, and you said
You
white people taught us how to write. You know how many writing systems
Well,
we
you're
have?
East African. If you're Ethiopian, not you.
But we have in CBD in
So
Nigeria.
you a nigga from the South, all right? You're not from the North.
Yeah, but
Like,
if you're
okay,
West
this
African, if you're
goes-
going to
this
throw a
goes-
jab about me having a European last name, they taught you guys how to write letters. So let's not
you
do
ain't a
that.
real
You can
nigga.
take jabs
If
too.
you only
Who taught us
Hey,
to
you're
write
only a
letters?
real
No,
black
you're East,
American.
not
if you're
you,
from
Trouble.
the
You're
South.
East
If you're
African.
from the
I'm talking
North,
to these West West
You're
Africans.
not. You're
Hang on,
you.
hang
You a
on.
house Negro. We're field
All right, see, you want to
Negroes,
be
right?
disrespectful. You don't want to have a real
No,
No,
conversation.
you are being disrespectful.
No, you're
For
being
you to
disrespectful.
no,
I'm
for
giving
you
the same
not.
energy.
Look, listen. You're not African at all. Remember that. So don't be trying to split East Africans
All
and
right, but
West
let's not
Africans
talk
or
about
something.
who got beat
Let's
up
just
by the
keep it
white people.
constructive, remember?
Yeah, keep it constructive
Bro,
because we can do this all day.
500 years,
But there are
mister.
writing
500 years.
systems. There's proof of writing systems all over Africa.
Yeah, in North Africa
And
and East Africa, not
I
West
said we
Africa.
have it in West Africa too. In
Where?
Igbos, our writing system is called NCBD.
Y'all don't
Look it
use
up.
that. Y'all
We
use
do use it.
flag. No, y'all don't.
It's called NCBD. We still
Show
use
me a document of CBD.
show
Show
you
me
a
a
document.
document.
You just Google NCBD, you'll see it. And the Cameroonians, they have an ancient writing system too.
And you just are you
So
Googling this too? I'm about to
no,
Google
I'm
this
not
too.
Googling this. This
No,
is
go
my
ahead and Google
history,
it,
sir.
Mister. This is
I'm
not your
showing you where you
panel,
can
right?
find
So
it.
you go do that research.
And let me remind you of one other thing, right? So the experience of colonization is different than the experience of enslavement. We were colonized in Nigeria. We
It's the
retained
same
our.
thing.
It's not the same thing. When you're enslaved, they take you away from your land and they take you back to their base camp. You are indoctrinated into their religion, their culture, their language.
Breaded,
Your indigenous culture is stripped away. And what are you left
domesticated.
with? You're left. You become domesticated and you see yourself through the eyes of the white T man. This is why you're up here arguing with me about FBA's own blackness, because that's the only thing that they left you with. They stripped away your authentic identity. The only thing they left you with was a racial category, which was like a caste system that they made for you. And now that's what you cling to as your identity. Your identity is found in what the white T man called you and the documents.
And let me tell you what
census
colonization left
documents.
you. Can I tell you what left Africa?
I still have my identity. I still
No,
have my
can I
identity,
tell you what it
sir.
left you
I
though?
still
What
have.
else it left you?
Okay, but let's hear what you got to go. Say
Okay,
what you're gonna say.
let's talk about their problems. You have this sovereign nation, right? Okay, I'll give you that. You guys were colonized. We were enslaved, right? You guys are so much better. Let's look at what's going on. You from Benin or what country you said you're from?
Nigeria.
Oh, you were Nigerian. You saying this? So you
Yes.
hanging your
All right, I gotta call.
wait? Let me
Look at you
finish. Let me
talking.
finish. You're
No. I can't do that. I can't have you do this. When we're
come out.
doing.
You know about to get belt to
All right,
ass.
all right. Well, the belt was already belt the ass on your American Negro ass. Relax. Mister. If we're gonna do this constructive, let's not. You're asking people what they are, and then you're laughing at them about what they are.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, when you sorry, Glock, when you, Mr.
Me, I was
Belt, like
gonna
we don't say
continue.
like. No, I know. No, let me finish. This is an African panel. Remember, you are a second thought on this panel. Okay, you're privileged enough
Tapping
to
out,
come
bro.
up here
Let's talk
and
about
talk.
Nigeria. Stop tapping out. You want to
I will
talk?
just. You will live in the comments. You will live in the comments, Belt. All right, because you American Negroes don't know how to act. Y'all think you live in the big house. You know, you house Negroes think that you are privileged enough to come on an African panel and flex. But let me fucking remind you every single fucking time that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Speaking among African people that are prideful, even FBAs that are prideful about being African, okay? You're not an FBA if you don't have ancestry in Africa. You're not an FBA if you're not descended from an African. You can't get over that, right? We just had the other brother up here or sister that was a indigenous FBA. That doesn't exist. It's not. It's delusional, right?
The
So
white
you
T,
got
the white T
y'all,
know where they bought
y'all.
you from. They know exactly what countries they bought you from. So let's not pretend like they don't know that you're lying. Even Indians know you're lying. That's why they said you're not them. So when you are trying to claim all these tribes, the people in those tribes know who is and who isn't a part of that tribe. But go ahead.
No, you're 100% right. You guys can allow them up if you guys want to, because I'm tired of belt. We put belt to ass on that American Negro as much as But here, I do want to say this while you're trying to come up, right? That you have to fall in line, bro. You're not gonna. There's no red carpet up here, right? You're not gonna get the privilege that you usually get on. I don't know who you think you are, or they always send their worst, right? FBAs never send their best. I'll tell you that. But you guys always You guys always filter each other out. But again, belt to ass. All I have to say is, if you're gonna mock people from where they come from in Africa, best believe that Black Americans will mock you if you're a city Negro, a country Negro, right? A Baptist Negro, a Catholic Negro, or a Protestant Negro, right? A 49er Negro, and a Patriot Negro, a fucking vegan Negro, carnivore Negro, right? You guys are not as united as you think you are. And you think FBA, under that title, you're going to be united? There are Black Americans that would never, ever relate to an FBA. Never relate to that xenophobia ethnicity. There are African Americans that love that title as an ethnicity and will never give it up. And you guys are delineating from all those titles to become foundational Black American, owned by Tariq Nasheed, your pimp, your Mac, your daddy, you 304s. He's your brand ambassador. It's not something unique. It's trademarked. Stop it. All right, I land.
It shocks me how they think every part of Africa is poor. No. Like, they think every part of Africa is very down bad, you know? That's another thing that blows me. Every time I tell someone I'm from Cameroon, they think that we're very, very poor, you know? Like,
But when you're talking
yeah.
to FBA, we have to delineate between FBAs and African Americans. FBAs are the Black rednecks of African Americans across the board. When you're talking to an FBA, you're talking to somebody. These are people who are either government dependents, uneducated, poorly employed. These are people who maybe they have a record. Something is holding them back in being successful in life. So they're angry at their lack of success. They're angry at their lack of competitiveness. And they think that changing their name to FBA is going to make them more competitive. They think that buying into a fake identity that Tariq Nasheed is selling is going to somehow make them more competitive. Maybe it gives them some kind of false confidence, but their confidence only exists online. When they get out into the world, they still have to contend with their lack of competitiveness. So these people exist only online. There's no such thing as FBA in the real world. There is no motion behind FBA. It's just an online identity that's the sole purpose is to generate profits for Tariq Nasheed. He's not going to win reparations for anybody. He's just going to, collect.
He's going to travel Africa and the whole world.
That's true.
Lining up his pocket.
He's going to collect money from Black rednecks to enrich himself, and not do anything for these losers. So I think we just have to let the losers lose, and I land the plane.
Yeah, facts. And once again, I was gonna say too, what was it? Okay, we got a new person. Sorry, IFY Miss. I had to mute you because you have crazy background noise. But go ahead and introduce yourself with your race, your ethnicity, where you're from, please.
Mm-hmm.
You can unmute, sister.
Oh, are you talking to me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Welcome
Hey.
to the panel. Welcome to the panel,
Hey.
sister. Can you introduce yourself with your race, your ethnicity, where you're from?
Hi, y'all. Well, I'm an American. I'm an African American, African from Nigeria. An American because I'm here. So, right?
Welcome to the panel, sister. Welcome to the panel. Do you want to respond to anything that's been said, or do you want to answer one of the questions on the front?
So who really decides your job or position in America, FBA or white corporation or owners? Well, as far as that's concerned, I'm answering the question, the first question. I would say FBA have nothing to do with as far as jobs in America is concerned. And in my experience as a director, hiring people, both white and black. Well, when I hire a black person, I don't care if they're from Africa. I don't care if they claim FBA or whatever. I hire them based on um, their their experiences and what I expect them to do. But what I've noticed in my experience as being a leader in healthcare is that most of those FBAs would rather have a white person as their manager versus their own person. Like if I hire an FBA to be a manager, they eat that person alive. Like they do all kind of things to make that person fail, and that's their own people. Versus when I hire a white person to be their manager, they respect the white person. So at the end of the day, I think the whole thing about FBA and Africans is just a misplaced anger. It's not Africans. Africans have nothing to do with it. Because at the end of the day, most Africans come here already rich, from a rich family, have their own things going on. They pay their tuitions in full, cash, and everything. And they go to school minding their own business. They're not like trying to do stuff to get money or all of that. And then when they're done, they're in a position where they're working hand in hand with white people like I do. But what I always do is try to bring another black person in the room. It doesn't matter whether or not they're Africans or they're FBAs. But when I do that, I'm seeing those FBAs being eaten alive by their fellow FBAs, which is crazy. So as far as white jobs decision is concerned in America, FBAs have nothing to do with it. And the couple and the corporations will pick an African to be at the head of their realm versus an FBA because they know these things that I'm saying. All right, thank you.
Well done, or well said. Well said.
Yeah, well said. Does anybody want to respond to that? Thank you, sister. FBA Godzilla, bring your ass up. He's always quick in the chat. I mean, that's the truth. IFY is saying the truth, guys. You're not gonna get you're not the franchise Negro that you thought you were. You're not gonna get handpicked because you came here with the YT man, and now they're deporting people that aren't as American as them.
But you know what's crazy too?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, when it comes to job applications, I read a study in university that people with names like Bonquisha, Gloctavius, when their name appears on a job application, they are selected less than even if your name is a immigrant name, an African name you can't really pronounce. So in America, the FWAs still don't like the FBAs.
Filter those names out.
Yeah, they filter. They see the Bonquisha Jackson on the application, and you don't get a call back. But if your name is Obina Njukwe, then you get the callback. So
what the Black American, what the American Negroes do? They try to blackify the names. Even like they make they rather do the Glock. They rather do the Bonquisha than they rather do an African name, right? But isn't that part of like Ebonics Glock? You think like maybe it's like.
I think that the name also signals class. So I think even low class white names have a similar effect. I think that if you have a low class name, Shaquita, Ladarius, Jamarcus,
Felicia.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, I think the YT people take that into account when they're overlooking your job application in a way that
But
if
only
you have a
rednecks would like take that into account, right? Not
right,
not like a not a like not a white man that is like not a okay, so when okay, back to the parallel, right, Glock? So the white coach, the white company in the NFL doesn't care what your name is. He's gonna hire you off your merits. He's gonna hire you off your skill set, right?
that's true.
And whatever that name is what it is. But these American Negroes think that maybe with those names that they will stand out as FBAs. And but again, it's only the redneck one, the racist white man, that's going to be receptive to that name because he hates African names. You hear me?
You mean
So
like you mean names like Don Travius or
So I mean, well, the white redneck racist would have more affinity to those names than an African immigrant name. You feel me? So they're only trying to relate to the people. I don't know how they're trying to stand out, you know, but I think it's the same thing with the FBA terminology, you know.
I got you.
Just the same way that we can be Negroes, but they're like, well, let's turn that into English. Let's say black, and then let's add a nationality to it, and now we're more legitimate than anybody else.
I'm sorry, but I disagree. I disagree. I don't think so at all. The people that I've worked with like the people that are like, you know, anybody can be Republican. You can be,
No,
you
MSN,
know,
I'm just
like,
making assumptions right now. I'm
yeah,
not
no,
saying
no,
that
it
this is the
doesn't.
absolute.
It's actually like maybe one or two occasions, but like in general, it's not the case because
Yeah,
the
and you're
thing is,
speaking. You're speaking for Black Americans as an African sister.
no, I'm speaking in my experience as a person on that table, and the person who do those filtering, as a person who do the hiring in those organizations, where
Right.
majority of the applications is coming from the FBA,
Right.
right? 'Cause they
Yeah,
don't have a lot of
sister.
applicants applying
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
But I'm
You're right.
saying that
You're right 100%. That's your intake though. We're only speaking about how YT people view that applicant. Not
no,
how you view it.
that's what I'm saying. The white people that I've worked with,
Okay.
those ones that own the corporations, the one that you're talking about, the rednecks or the racists, they respect those people from Africa more than they respect the Black Americans here.
Okay.
Because
All
they
right.
view those people from Africa as people with integrity
Right.
versus the people that they have enslaved and feel like they're nothing. So at the end of the day, I don't think most FBAs are realizing this, but I think people should sit back sometimes and think about why does people like Omar Johnson change their name to Omar? That's not his name. He changed his name to Omar because he knows that it sounds African to a lot of people that he wants to deal with. And the reason is that they want their names to those ones that understand this kind of things, that have been in a position of leadership. They understand the respect that's accorded to an African when they walk into the room versus an FBA.
But we do have to put some respect on African Americans. They are a noble ethnic group. They have done a lot for this country, so we don't want to come off as being
No,
you know,
that's not what I'm trying to do at
And so
all.
I hear both sides, okay, and I appreciate every sentiment. What I was just trying to kind of illustrate, IFY, was that people can do they can switch their names, right? When they like Malcolm X, right? He was Malcolm Little, and then he became Malcolm X, and then he converted to Islam, right? Even Cassius Clay, right? Muhammad Ali. So there is an aspect about people reclaiming who they are, whether it be one name or the. So the only thing I was talking to Glock about how I was trying to rationalize how these names come about, because a part of a Black American trying to reclaim themselves uh, but they do it in their own way because they can't gravitate to anything Muslim or African, or you know what I mean. So they 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 come to a point where they have to name themselves something. And so this is what we're poking fun of, but also at the same time I'm trying to find the realization of why, you know. So we're I know it sounds like you have every right to call that out, FYIFY, okay? And you're right. But I was just trying to talk to Glock about that. It
Right.
wasn't
But
anything.
when you're okay, full disclosure, I'm half African American. My mother is an African American, and my parents both went to an HBCU. I'm familiar with the African American experience, and I have slave ancestry in this country. So I know what it's like to wrestle with slave ancestry, to wrestle with the context in which African Americans live in America. How is it that we got to be here in America? How is it that, with slavery? So the things I'm saying are really aimed at FBAs, not African Americans, but you have to also respect, the accomplishments that African Americans have made in this country. And we have to distinguish FBAs and African Americans. African Americans understand that they have African ancestry. They understand the context of the history of how they exist in America. FBAs, on the other hand, they want to disconnect themselves from their African ancestors, and they want to tether themselves to somebody else's ancestors. They want to be Hebrews. They want to be Moors. They want to be Native Americans. They want to be anything but African. So we cannot, put the FBA jacket on all African Americans. These are two separate categories. So when you speak, you have to target FBAs and don't broad brush all African Americans. That's all I wanted to say. Go ahead.
We're trying to reconnect with our brothers and sisters in the continent of America.
Right.
No,
Right.
Clark, I agree. I'm sorry. I agree completely with what you just said. Because when you're listening, like I have amazing friends, African Americans. They're my ride or die. Like I said, when I come into a place in a room of leadership where I'm the only black person there, guess what? I'm trying to bring a sister, I'm trying to bring a brother. And whether or not that brother is African American, is Black American or someone from Africa, as long as they're black, I see them as a brother or sister. So I completely agree with what you said. And we all know from everything that's been going on that the only people who are trying to bring this racial war, which is not supposed to be happening in the first place, because we're supposed to be one. We're all black. That's it. That's how white people see themselves. They don't see themselves as, oh, you're from UK, or you're from Australia, or you're from Germany. As long as you're white, they call you white. Period. But the people that are trying to bring this racial war, which is unfortunate, it's the FBAs. And I can tell you right now, my white friends are like shocked to the bones when they see all those things going on. And I'm just wondering if this is why racism is still lingering on, and if this is why we're still fighting. Because I don't believe that we fight alongside of them. I know how much I personally cried when George Floyd happened, because I don't know what his background or what his history is, but I just see him as a brother, and how that could happen to anybody that looks like me.
Right.
So,
Well said. Well said. Yeah, but you have to understand that FBAs, when you're talking to an FBA, these are house Negro supremacists. These are people who think that, proximity to YT people makes them better. They think that, they want to make their ethnicity American. They don't want anything to do with Africa. They want their entire ethnicity to be American, as if the YT people in America don't delineate themselves from them. Do you understand? So these people are lost people. So we're just really trying to push back on a lot of their rhetoric, especially when it comes to their xenophobic, anti-African, anti-Caribbean rhetoric. But African
Yeah,
Americans
facts.
do not suffer from this to the same extent as FBAs.
Exactly. And we are making a clear distinction. With that, let's go ahead and introduce Obi. Obi, welcome to the panel. Salute, my brother. You know how it goes. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. Good evening. Good evening. Yeah. This is just for the FBAs. Yeah, FBAs. You guys are African, brother. African. You guys are of African descent. All FBAs. To give you a better picture, brother, just imagine Coca-Cola. I'm the original Coca-Cola as an African, and you were like Coca-Cola Zero, Diet Coca-Cola. So this is why you're so angry. I understand, but you have to just get over it, brother. You have to get over it. Also, FBAs. I challenge you people in the comments. Name one conflict as a FBA that you guys have successfully won against the white team. Name one. Since you guys are such a lineage and you guys stand on your own, just name one. Just you could type it or come up.
They're not going to come out because they're cowards, man. That's why they stay in the comments. But yeah, you guys are welcome up. Look, FBAs, we're trying to reconnect with our brothers and sisters. We are more attached to the ancestors that were snatched up from the continent, and we relate to those African people, the ones that actually went through the indoctrination process, the ones that still had their languages, their tribe, their culture, before it became you're so far removed from those people that actually went through the trauma, right? Than you are with the people that you bred with and that reclassified you and made you think that you are more FWA. And FWA is what you really want to be, but you happen to be FBA, right? Instead of FWA. You want to be more American than any American, but the white man is more American than you. You want to be more black than everybody else, but again, black was a term given to you that related back to Africa, that was used against people on the sub-Saharan Africans. Remember that, right? So this is the U.S. Census. FBA is not recognized federally or on the U.S. Census. It's not a thing. Okay, I know you guys are trying to make it a thing. I know you guys are trying to have an ethnicity, but even Black Americans don't relate to FBA. This is why they're still Black Americans. This is why they're still African Americans. This is why they're Salon. This is why they're ADOS. And I'll land on that.
Yeah, and I think it's our fault as Africans too. We should have never. I took a test, a DNA test. They offered me a special test, FBAs. They offered a sample test kit, and this is where it comes from. It's a little bit of Black Panther, that movie with Killmonger, the disowning of the lineage because when you went away to another place. This is where a lot of this FBA stuff came from, They was running around screaming out Wakanda forever, and we were like, put your hands down. We told these people to put their hands down, and then they took the DNA test and they essentially, when they see the results, it's mostly Nigerian. I don't know if you guys catch it, but Nigeria gets most of the smoke because most African Americans in America are Nigerians. Again, a diet Nigerian, but still a Nigerian nonetheless. That's why we know you guys so well and we trigger you so easily because we know you. You are just like I said, a Diet Coke version of a Nigerian. You're a diet Nigerian.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. That's a good analogy.
A great analogy.
Yeah, but for me, I see African Americans as Africans, the ones who understand that they're African. If you're not African, then to be honest, you don't even exist to me. You're not even part of my moral circle. You're them niggas over there. So I divide African Americans to African Americans and them niggas over there. So, I mean, if I do not want to beg anybody to be African. If you're FBA, you're FBA. If you're indigenous, you're indigenous. That's all well and good.
And I'll take it one step further, Clock. We also, again, we've always said this, like, we have to make a distinction between the FBA and a Black American, because they say FBA say FBAs are Black Americans, but not all Black Americans are FBAs. They're not all going to subscribe to that ideology, and I think that's very important, you know. And listen, a Black American, I have more respect for a Black American that does not subscribe to FBA, but he also doesn't want to be African American because it doesn't, you know, with the whole, that's the thing, the closeted Black American that is spewing the same thing at FBA rhetoric kind of thing about delineating and tether. Same with the American Indians that do the same thing. They're all taking this from a pamphlet or a memo or the website, Tariq Nasheed's website, because they all have that same kind of talking points. So it's not very hard for us to understand how you're undecisive about how you take FBA talking points, but you don't want to be related to FBAs because you know how hard we're going to drag you, right? And we say closeted FBAs because soon enough we're going to find out how you speak about African people, about your lineage, about your descendants. So that's what makes it very telling for us, and we'll clock that shit every time.
Yeah, that's very true. And I have to remind FBAs, it was enslaved Africans built this country, enslaved Africans. And so if you are not African, then you have to disconnect yourself from your African ancestors. You're not African, that's fine. You're indigenous, that's fine. I don't want to hear any talk about Africans sold you into slavery. Those African ancestors belong to us. African American belongs to us. You get to keep indigenous. And that's it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to fight with indigenous people from America, from Mexico. You're gonna have to deal with them and Africans and white tea people and the diaspora. So again, you guys are isolating yourselves for a check for something, the 40 acres and a mule, which is revised to a reparations check, you know. But at the end of the day, we know these people are grifters for the same reason why if the white tea man said, if you're not from Nigeria, West Africa, you won't get the check, there'll be Africans tomorrow, if that was the case.
I think we got to hold the line here. I think we have to delineate by force at this point. I don't see any other option. They're not African. I agree they're not African. I release them from Africanness. So if you can hear the sound of my voice, I release you.
Hurry up and delineate. Yeah.
You're not African. Hurry up and delineate. I don't understand what's taking so long. We've already delineated. Delineation has already occurred. You guys are just, I don't know, you're making a big show of nothing. So if you're not African, you're not African American, you should just exist on FBA Island by yourself. Go ahead.
Right. And look at FBA Godzilla. He says FBA has already delineated and alienated you Africans. So again, my brother, you did all that for what? For the entertainment of YT people to give you that check? You know, like, who are you performing for? Who are you tap dancing for? Who are you performing for? It's not. But again, like Glock, that's what I'm saying. If the whole reparations check came back to, okay, if YT people said, we don't consider chattel slavery, we're gonna give this check to people that were actually snatched from the continent of Africa, and go backwards in the lineage instead of forward, which would be the the 300, 400 years. Like, they want to be so far removed from Africa with the white tea former slave master that that's where they get their legitimacy from, you know? And so what I'm saying, if the white man chose to give legitimacy to the people that they actually snatched, the people that they actually disenfranchised, the people that they actually took and then created in America, they would be far removed from that, because
Right.
those people would be more connected to African people, brothers and sisters from the continent. So I'm saying they're grifters. They're gonna go wherever so they think the white team man, which is true, wants them to be xenophobic and patriotic and nationalistic. So they're going with that. That's why they're like, I ain't marching. I ain't standing up for nobody. Y'all got to deal with all the suffering that we dealt with. It's about time that you suffer the way we suffered for so long, because we were house Negroes and y'all were field Negroes. That's all I hear.
FBAs, they're useful idiots. They exist in part so that white nationalists can say, "Oh, we're not racist because FBAs agree with us, so we can't be racist. We're not xenophobic. We don't hate immigrants. We just are pro-America." And look, we got some FBAs who are just saying the exact same thing that we're saying. So these people, their rhetoric is white nationalism, but this country will never center you as being the center of America. Do you understand that you will only ever be like make a cameo appearance in America with regards to legitimacy? Because FBAs did not sign the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence. You do not show up on the currency. A system cannot fail those it was never meant to protect. America was never meant to center slave descendants. This was a white ethno-state built for the benefit of white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, for white Anglo-Saxon Protestants.
Right.
When they built this country, they were not saying, we have to make a country for slave descendants. No, they built this country on the back of your ancestors' labor for their own offspring, for their own children. Do you understand? So it's crazy to me that FBAs want to identify themselves with the nation that enslaved their ancestors, and this is the center of their identity is being a slave. If the center of your identity is being a slave or being a Native American or being something else, then I got nothing for you.
Right, brother. White supremacy actually did its part, and it's playing out today, right? Obi, did you want to say something? You're unmuted.
Yeah, it's just the tactics that FBAs use. They use this very weak, low-level reverse psychology. They'll complain one moment about us sticking to ourselves, going to our markets, and then they'll say they're delineating. They're doing the same thing. But you just have to pay attention to the actions of FBAs. In the midst of a Target boycott, they decided to add African braiding shops in there because of they think they were talking behind their back in their languages. You know, they don't speak the language. They don't know. And I actually spoke to some of the sisters. FBAs have been practicing the service, get the service and dash technique. You know, this is why there's many videos of FBAs being held hostage at braiding shops because of this. But yeah, you just have to look at the actions that they do. They're holding African immigrants, businesses next to Target. They wanted to boycott African businesses next to Target, and this showing how powerful Africans are, really and truly.
Right, Obi. That's part of the whole the Essence Fest, and understanding that an African owned that, and they were just mad because and this happens in their communities as well, right? FBA Gazella says, "This is my country. I can't be deported, period." He again, my FBA brother, your country is in Africa. Your continent is Africa. You know, you were brought here, and now you feel that you assimilated well enough to hate on Africa and then spew hatred that you can't be. Brother, they unalive black Americans as well as they unalive white Americans speaking up against ICE, man. This is obvious, right? And so if you don't think you can they're gonna take. They don't have to take you to Africa. They can take you to Alligator Island or where all these other detention centers. Like again, for you not to get mixed up with the African is going to be really hard for white people to distinguish the two. But here, I want to play a video that Obi spoke about how Black Americans do not have communities; they have neighborhoods. But here, This comes from the founder. This comes from the not Tariq Nasheed, but the guy that coined the term foundational Black American, Claude Anderson. Here, I want you guys to hear this, okay? Now, we do not have not one single black community in America. All you got are black neighborhoods. They don't have any communities. A community must have three elements. You must have a wholly independent economic structure that can produce jobs, services, goods, products, and resources for your own people. Two, the second thing you must have in there, you must have a code of conduct. Saying this is how we're going to behave. Here's how we're going to love and support each other. Appreciate them, care about them, protect them. And lastly, you must have politicians elected to office who will represent you first and foremost. You don't put black folk in public office that will look out for everybody else before they look out for you. If you don't have those three things, you don't have Now, we do not have not one single black community. That's it. I'll land on that. If anybody wants to say anything before I invite Belt to Ass is still up here? That's crazy.
Yeah,
Belt to Ass.
bring Bill to ask. Yeah, I want to see what.
I'll bring. Okay, and then we got Bella too. Oh, I think okay. So he fled. Let's go ahead and introduce Bell.
Hi. Hi, I'm Belle. My name is Belle. I'm actually Ethiopian. I live in Africa. I live in Ethiopia, but I have lived in the US before and I am a returnee.
Okay, welcome to the panel, sister. Do you want to respond to anything that's been said or do you want to answer one of the questions on the pro?
Yeah, I've been crazy on the comments, right? Yes. I think I wanted to say three things. One is I'm glad you dropped that FBA guy. The way he was disrespectful towards that Nigerian on the panel. Because I get on these FBA panels every now and then. Not too many, like two of them. And I know how they're so disrespectful towards Africans. But my thing is, why do Africans come here and get disrespected? Because these guys are not going to be nice to us. I mean, if we come here, we need to be expecting to be so trashed. So, and I'm always like, why Africans go there and get disrespected? They don't come to you to disrespect you. You are going there. So this guy coming here and trying to be disrespectful towards Africans, this is the kind of harsh measure that should be taken, because he started acting like he was on FBA panel and wanted to go scream and yell at us. So I'm glad you did that, and that's how they should be treated. We don't go to them, and they don't come to us. That should be the way we should be at this point, because they're not going to be agreeing with us whatsoever. The second thing I want to address is my sister from Nigeria. You got to be very careful, because Black Americans are not FBAs. So the way she spoke was oh, the whiteys like us and they don't like them. That's the kind of stuff that's creating this FBA. I mean, they are the ones who are FBA anyway. There's nothing you can do about it. But I think there are some Black Americans who are bystanders, watching this craziness on TikTok. But when an African gets on a panel and says stuff like, oh, the whiteys like us, they don't like them, they're this, they're that. I mean, I don't agree with that kind of rhetoric. Africans have to be very, very careful about what they say about Black Americans. FBAs are not Black Americans. So I know what she's trying to address, but it's not the way to do it. She's helping the number to grow by saying stuff like that. I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, to act like we're better than Black Americans in their own soil, that's not a good thing to say, I think. The third thing I want to address is like FBAs are in character. Like you cannot change them. They're not. I think they might even get paid. I don't know, but there are the sincere ones. Like they really, really think Africans, blacks were in America before the white people arrived and stuff. I mean, some Africans we do believe that, but those Africans are from Africa. Those blacks are from Africa that they're claiming they were there before whites. I think we agree. I mean, I was educated in the U.S. and we know that blacks were the first occupiers of the soil. We agree that. But these FBAs are definitely like actors and actresses on TikTok. Just like paid, like crisis actors, like you see them on every crisis. They act like in every shooting, every bomb. I mean, like even I remember the Boston Marathon when I was in the U.S. There was this guy being interviewed, like how he escaped the bomb and everything. And then the same guy, I saw him on TV, like on one of those school shootings as like one of the parents of the kids, if you guys remember. So these FBAs are like paid actresses. They are in character. They're not going to change. They're going to be saying the same thing over and over. So, yeah, to wrap it up, I think as Africans, we need to be very, very careful about what the kind of stuff we say about Black Americans.
Can I respond to
Yeah,
that?
you can, but let me say this is because I was very clear to her about the distinguish. We distinguish both of those. I don't know when you showed up, Belle, but we already worked this out. But go ahead, IFY. You can respond.
I know Belle.
No, I showed up before she got on, and I'm glad she came because this is the kind of stuff I've been thinking. Like, we Africans should really, really, act very cordial, even when they're disrespectful. It's just better to leave if we are on their panel. Like this guy's like, if you read his comments, he's like, she's lying, whatever he's writing. What am I lying about? Like you guys
Yeah,
are.
don't worry about FBA Godzilla. He's
Can I
not.
just, yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't
point-
mind, I
my
just got a
point is-
response. I
Of
can go
course.
back to what I'm
On
doing.
this panel,
Of course.
he's
I
acting
want you guys to flesh this out. Go ahead.
Belle,
What I'm saying is, even on this
Belle?
panel, he's acting like he is on FBA panel.
Sister, let the sister respond to you. Don't worry about the comments.
So you
He's
can go
not.
back to what,
No, I'm not
You
worried.
don't even want
at
to come
all.
up. You don't even want to come up. Don't even
Worried
focus
at
on it.
all. I'm not worried. I'm just giving you an example.
I got you, sister.
Everywhere they go, they act like
I got
it's
you.
them.
Sis, you gotta let me respond.
Yeah.
I guess I'm meant to do, okay?
No, go ahead.
I'm
sis.
sorry.
Okay, I'm done. Okay, she can respond.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. Thanks for what you said, but I mean, like he said, I don't know when you got
Maybe she's not here. But anyway,
hear me?
so
No,
I'm
Belle,
glad-
Belle, you gotta
You're
let
not
her
listening
respond.
there.
Let
You're not
her
listening.
respond. Belle,
Okay.
let her respond.
So
I'm waiting.
Okay. I'm not sure when you got on, but I know you said you got on before I spoke. And I know when Glock was saying something about, because like he mentioned, he has an African American mother. So when he was saying, yeah, we have to be careful because we can generalize all, Black Americans in the FBA thing. And I did mention that Black Americans are my ride or die at work. And in most situations at work, I've been the only Black person. I've been the only black person in that room, right? So, and
Three
when that
elements. You must
happens,
have a wholly independent economic
when
structure.
when that happens, I'm trying to bring my brothers and sisters, people that look like me, because that helps me, makes me feel comfortable with that there's someone else that look like me in the room. So some of my best friends that are African Americans are Black Americans. So there is no disrespect to Black Americans whatsoever, if that's what you got from what I just said. What I was trying to strike at was they're not understanding the damages that they're doing in their community with um, all these imaginary wars that they're creating between them and people that come from Africa. Okay, so there's no disrespect whatsoever to Black Americans because they're my friends. Some of my best friends are Black Americans. Some of the people that have helped me in life, some of the people that I've dedicated my success to, outside my parents and my family, are Black Americans. So I just want to clear that out, okay?
Right. Thank you, sister. I already know we talked about this. Maybe Bell came a little bit late. But yeah, we had fleshed this out already, Bell. But I do appreciate you even putting that out because I mean most of my friends, right, growing up in America, were Black Americans, African Americans, and even with this whole, even me getting caught up with TikTok lives and talking about this issue, I was on the FBA side because they were like, "Oh, these immigrants are coming here and looking down on us," and I was like, "What? My people? My people are doing that? Let me be." And they were right. When I was on their panels, I saw Ethiopians, I saw Africans that come on there and just talk down to Black Americans. And being very ridiculous, being sellouts, being coons. We have coons in our own, But so I was like, let me, as a first generation African Mexican, right? Let me be here for Black Americans because I have so much respect, and I would never, if they don't understand what Black Americans have done here, I had their side first, and then I was. Fortunately, I should say fortunately, that I hung around those panels long enough to know that they were the ones that actually did that to foreigners or immigrants. Like, they were spewing the same rhetoric and the same hate back to the people. Like, it worked on both sides, right? And so I was like, okay, well, but as soon as the political thing or the administrative thing changed, right? As soon as you see powers that be that change the way people think, Mexicans are being deported, but also Mexican Americans are the ones that are ICE agents. They're the same people signing up to deport or to kidnap or to unalive our people, right? So then you're like, okay, well, like, what's going on here, right? Like, I didn't sign up for this. At first I thought this was about protecting Black people, in America. But once the Black Americans were like, we have nothing to do with you Africans, or we have nothing to do with you Black Mexicans, then you have to then I had to think about it, and I was like, whoa, well, this sounds very, very xenophobic, very patriotism masked as racism. This sounds like, but again, these are people that are aligning themselves with their administration, with their current bosses. These are people that only do things in their best self-interest. They don't do it for the diaspora. They don't do it for the Black diaspora. They don't do it for, they're American first. They're not even Black first. They're American first. America does not have a monopoly of who is a fucking American. An American can be a Canadian, can be a United States citizen, in my term, it can be a Mexican, can be of South America, because America is a continent, just like Africa is a continent. All right. Who is the biggest power? It's the United States of America, who has Puerto Rico, Alaska, try to get Greenland. Again, who voted for Trump, right? It was Mexican people, right? Latinos, Hispanics, not Mexicans. What is a Latino? What is a Hispanic? What is a Mexican? You go look that up and see the differences, right? What is an American, right? We say American, we think white people, but they're European Americans, just like we be African Americans or Black Americans. There's always a hyphenation about how American we are, but to the greater power, right? The power that be. So again, guys, we have to be very crucial about how we align ourselves with things that don't have that always don't have our best interest. You know what I mean? And so I share this story about my first initiation to help a FBA, but then I realized that I was not helping. I was helping them to hate on this new way of looking at people differently based off their status in America. But I'll land on that point. Go ahead, Bill. I see you unmuted. I do want to introduce West Africa, but I'll let you respond, then I'll introduce West Africa.
Okay. So even with the comments, I was back and forth with this guy. So if FBAs have that much power and that much say over who's staying in the US and who's leaving, why are they on TikTok? I mean, there's a job right now that they can apply for. They can apply for ICE. Why don't they join that force and be a part of ICE? Like you said, there's a lot of Mexicans that are getting paid and like informants, and you'll see them on the street dragging people out, right? Mexicans. You hardly see blacks. I mean, there are some blacks. I've seen them on TV, whatever. But if they were as powerful, as fit, as whatever they think they are on TikTok, they better just go and apply for ICE and be a part of the movement dragging people out of the US. But the thing is, I think most of those FBAs are very old people, especially the ladies. The men are probably not fit enough to be in ICE. Maybe they have like a lot of crime records that they cannot even get a job with ICE. So you can see that these FBAs are just on TikTok.
Yeah, of course, Bill. Let me introduce West Africa, but let me also. He said, "Don't help FBA, help your homeland." So don't help the YT. Go back to your homeland, the one he snatched you up from. All right, All right, West Africa, street sweeper, FBA.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Yeah, it's been a while. Hey guys. What's up? I am West African. I am Liberian. I'm a Liberian American, and I'm 21, and I hate FBAs. So I'm gonna give you guys some of my thoughts on FBAs. I say I say a lot of controversial stuff, so people are not gonna agree with a lot of stuff I have to say, and that's what I like. Anyways, so what's it called? First of all, let me just talk to my East African brother real quick. Let me talk to the host. Do I have
Hey.
to answer the prompt? It's been a while. I missed you.
Just do you, West Africa. But I do have questions if you want to answer them. But you can just speak on what you can respond to what we talked about.
Okay. So let me just add on from basically what I was hearing, right? When it comes to FBAs, right? I don't know if you guys have ever like paid attention. By the way, this doesn't apply to, African Americans who know who they are. These are the randoms that like to call themselves foundational to the United States. Okay, this is for them. The problem with these individuals, right, which usually they tend to be unemployed, by the way, they tend to be unemployed. And, sometimes they tend to be like fresh out of their nursing care home. These individuals, they're causing a havoc, okay? They're not trying to better the Black community. They're only trying to cause more damage to the Black community. That's how I see it. These people are very divisive. I mean, they're trying to promote division throughout the diaspora. That's what they're trying to do. These are not individuals that are trying to, promote unity. These are problematic individuals. They rather blame immigrants for, their their horrible circumstances. They rather just put their stress on immigrants and blame others for their own misfortunes, right? That's what these people do, okay? They're looking for someone to blame for their own misfortunes, right? So they try to put it on immigrants, put it on everyone, and things like that. These are just very like xenophobic individuals. I tend to get really scared when I get around them, but I'm just very happy that not every Black American is like this, because I have a few Black American friends and they're lovely. They're nothing like this. So I just want to tell you guys, when you see them spewing xenophobic rhetoric online, don't pay too much mind to it. This is what they do in their free time. Instead of actually like clocking into an actual job and like applying for actual, jobs, they rather sit online and bash other people that look just like them. It makes no sense. And, it's so funny because other races, right, they sit back on the sidelines and they watch Black people, regardless of if you're an African American or you're a continental African, they watch us argue and see how stupid we are, literally over the stupidest stuff. Because at the end of the day, the system in which we are all in, right, especially if you're in the US, it's against both communities, whether you are a continental African or a Black American. So they sit here and they defend, right, like guard dogs. They defend this country so bad that doesn't even treat them well. And it just amazes me. And, that's what happens when you're oppressed, and you try to oppress another smaller group of individuals, right? So the Africans now, the Caribbeans now, right? We are the smaller group after them, right? So they're trying to put that suppressed anger onto us. So that's why we need to stay resilient and we need to not, pay mind to this kind of stuff, guys. That's what I have to tell you. Thank you.
Well stated, West Africa. And yeah, you make a lot of valid claims about this. And this is the nuance, because like we deal with FBAs all the time. We listen to them. We want to try to understand, but they just don't leave any room to understand. They want to make a clear delineation from their roots, right? And they have more in common with the foundational white American than they would ever do for a brother and sister from the continent of Africa. So that is the 500 years, 400 years, 350 years, I've heard, even 200 years, and then Jim Crow and then black codes. Like, they don't think that there's not, like, the way they think and the way they hate doesn't come from what they've been through. You don't think the trauma that came from the ancestors from the continent of Africa. You want to remove yourself from the continent of Africa where your ancestors were snatched up from, right? More relevant about how far you are removed from that trauma and more aligned with the YT former slave master about how America is now. So you want to give all yourself glory about how you built America for YT people.
No, and that's a good point you mentioned, because people tend to forget as well, like all of that forced labor, right? That was free, by the way. That is what stimulated the YT community economic wise, right? That's what they profited off of, your labor. And you're sitting here and defending a country so hard, writing a country so hard that doesn't even respect you as an individual, that just a couple years ago, you didn't even have rights.
But you're not defending your country, though.
Hold on.
What do you mean defending my country?
Hold on. Well, let the sister land.
Yeah, let me land. You're a man.
But look at her hair, though. She has.
You're a man. You're a man. Calm down.
Hold on. The Wood. Let me introduce you, bro.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, you're a man. Chill.
Let the sister land. Let,
Go
let us
So
ahead.
aggressive.
let us cook. Let us
Yes,
cook
sir.
real quick. All right. Hold on, bro. This is an African panel. I thought you knew, but go ahead, Wes.
All right, go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
thank you. So aggressive, an aggressive black man.
I just got done eating.
Yeah,
Go
yeah, you're
ahead.
aggressive black man. Hold on. So
Yes,
back to what I
sir.
was
I
saying,
know you
right?
will.
Well, let us make you throw up. Hold on. Go ahead, Wes.
All right, go
Thank you,
ahead.
my East African brother, because I don't know what's up with this dude. So back to what I was saying, right? Like I just
Man.
said, oh my god. Like I just said, like Vibes was just talking about, like, the forced labor that, your ancestors didn't get paid for, that stimulated the white tea community economically, right? That, by the way, you guys are still fighting for reparations to this day, right? Just for you to turn around and be riding so hard for this country that's just been doing you dirty for decades. Just a couple years ago, you just got rights. You guys weren't even really part of the Constitution, right? And then you turn around and try to oppress, or attempt really to oppress another smaller group of individuals, which is now the immigrants, right? Or the continental African, Caribbeans, whoever, anybody of a different ethnic background than you try to do that to them, right? It's just, if anyone's projecting, it's you guys, right? That's it. Just makes sense because how you guys were treated, you're now trying to do that to the immigrants. You're now trying to put your problems on the immigrants and say that the immigrants are doing this to you. By the way, your country literally benefits off of people migrating here. Your country, right? The US is literally the country that allows people to migrate here, right? Benefits off of people migrating here. So I'm very confused on why you're going to turn around and blame people for coming here. And you guys don't do this with any other type of immigrants either. I don't see you guys doing it to the Middle Eastern immigrants. I swear you guys only pay attention to African immigrants or Caribbeans. You guys are not doing this to other Middle Eastern, or maybe the people who come from,
European illegals,
you guys are
white
not doing
women
it to them.
under the 14th Amendment.
Yeah, they're not. I'm serious. No, Vibes, I'm serious. They're not doing it to them. It's
I
only,
know.
the only attention is on us. That's why it's a proximity thing. You're doing it to us because we look like you guys. That's really what it is. It's a proximity thing for you guys. You guys feel inferior.
You do not look like us.
Oh, we don't look
Hold
like you.
on.
Now
Hold
we don't
on.
look like.
What?
Oh my god, I
We
hate
wouldn't
when they
look like
say
you.
that.
We wouldn't look like you.
I
You've been
hate when
bred.
they say
You've been
that. Do you know
bred.
how many times? It's so funny when y'all say that. You guys are in denial.
Hold on. Woo. Just mute up, bro. Let the sister land.
Go
She hasn't
ahead.
landed yet. She hasn't landed.
Go
Sorry,
ahead.
sorry,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
sorry, Vibes. I got a phone call, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
you
no
guys are
worries.
you guys are so insecure of your features, insecure of everything. Do you know how many times I have left my house and came across people that were Black American that I literally thought were straight from Ghana, straight from Nigeria? Like, are you kidding me? We look alike, bro. And you guys sit here and say, "Oh no, you guys' head look like this or your nose look like this." You guys, bro, bro? I don't know what y'all expect Africans to look like, but I'm gonna tell
Whose
y'all right
man's is
now,
this?
y'all have African features, okay? Whether or not y'all believe it, you guys have African features. I'm sorry. Like, you guys are always like, oh yeah, we can always make this distinction. No, you cannot. Sometimes you can, don't get me wrong. But
Almost mute. West.
sorry, I keep getting a phone call. But for the most part,
You good?
we look alike. Stop.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
This is the
And
FBA
so
hairstyle.
again, well, let me introduce you, but
Go ahead.
let me say this, brother. I don't know if you FBA or pretendian, or I don't know, right? But let me just say this about looks, colorism, featureism, texturism, right? How we relate to one another, right? Whether it be melanin or whether it be to your unique lineage, whatever you're gonna be willing to honor, right, would be different than somebody else honoring their ethnicity, their race, or how they look like. Okay, so we're proud Africans, right? The woo.
Who is
I
we?
know
When
you.
you say we, that's a
So
ambiguous.
we Africans, brother. Hold on, stay muted, bro. I'm gonna bring you up. I just have to say this before you come up, okay?
I
We
got
are
a question
African.
though. Do you think she's proud?
No. Hold that question. Hold that question. Boo-boo. I wanna bring you up here legitly, introduce you right, but you have to know. I have to give you a disclaimer, right? This is an African panel, right? Proud Africans in America, coming to America and staying in America, whether you like it or not. You can't deport us, right? Because we're Americans, right? You're not ICE. You're not Homeland Security. Ain't nobody afraid. Hold on now. You can't stay muted. You don't run shit. Nobody cares, right? We are who we are. We're going to hold it down, 10 toes down. It don't matter how you feel or what you claim. We are Africans, love being Africans in America. We are African Americans, Black Americans, but not FBAs, okay? So with that, we'll go ahead and introduce yourself with your race, your ethnicity, where you're from, brother.
Yeah. So you said you are a Black American, right?
So brother, I need you to answer my questions before I
Go
answer
ahead.
any of your fucking questions. I need you to answer mine first,
Go ahead.
right?
Go ahead.
Race, ethnicity, where you're from.
My race is Black. My ethnicity is Freedman. I am from North Carolina.
Okay, welcome to the panel, brother. What do you want to say? What do you want to respond to or answer one of the questions on the prompt?
Yeah, so I just want to ask, so you say you guys are proud Africans. With the hairstyle that this West African girl is wearing, would you say that is an African hairstyle?
So the woo, what the woo? The woo. Was that
I'm
part of the
saying though,
conversation about her
you just
hairstyle?
said
Like,
ask me a
no, I
question. I
asked you.
just
I asked
answered
you to
a question.
respond to. Listen, my brother, please. I asked you to respond to anything we've said so far, or to answer one of the
I'm
questions.
responding to what you said. You said
Well, she didn't.
you
No,
guys
I
are
didn't talk
proud
about her
Africans.
hair. I didn't talk about her hair.
Well, I can't see your picture. You don't have any pictures up, sir.
I
Nigga,
need to ask
nobody.
this guy something.
Wes, I got this, please. I got this. So,
And
woo,
you sound like a meth
woo,
mayo
woo.
man.
I don't care how you think I sound. That's fine. Woo. Woo, I'm about to drop you, Woo. If you can't follow
Drop your
instructions.
mother with her old face,
All right,
looking
brother.
at milk skin,
I
stinking ass
dropped this
boy.
big black African cock on your mom. All right, so that's all that the BBAC, nigga. How about that? All right, stay in the comments, live in the comments. I don't care.
See,
Y'all think
that's the
y'all
thing with them.
y'all
They claim
think
everything. They claim
they
Asian
waited that long,
royalty.
Bell. They waited that long to come and spew that. So
Yeah, the
that's
thing
fine.
with
I don't want to be
Black
disrespectful. You know, I love my Black Americans. Once again, he said, what did he say? He said that he was a freedman, right? That was his ethnicity.
Can I say
Yeah,
something?
that's what I'm saying. They're losing their mind.
I'm
I'm
sorry,
telling
but
you,
the
they're
hair
losing their
is
mind. Like,
coming from China. The
Can I
hair
say
is not coming
something?
from the FBA. So
Whatever the
why are
whiteys
they
are
so?
saying it to them, they're saying it to us.
yeah.
You remember how the whiteys will be like, oh, if you're pro like that to the African Americans or Black Americans, if you're so better than us, why are you wearing your hair like ours, like the whiteys, the straight hair? So that's exactly what he's saying that to you. He really, really in that whitey character. They stay in that character and they talk like the whiteys. So everything the whiteys
I mean, that's
would
what
be
happens when you go around your oppressors.
yeah, that's exactly what the whiteys would be saying to them. They are saying it to us now. Like they're not like they are the whiteys right now. They really think that your hair is even Black American hair, like that straight hair. So it's exactly what they're doing is what is done to them, and they hated it. Now, what they hated it, they're doing it to us. So I always say they are in character of a whitey, so like a red. What is it in the U.S.? What do we call them? Rednecks. That's exactly how the FBAs are acting right now, like the rednecks in the trailer. It's not even the racist whiteys. It's just the rednecks.
They're house Negroes, Bell. House Negroes. Indoctrinated American Negroes. And when I say Negro, I mean black. When I say Negro, I mean black.
I don't consider them house Negroes because house Negroes are very, very educated. These people are like the rednecks of like Florida. Because
Look, Bell. You can still be ignorant and be educated. You know that, right, Bell?
Yeah, I agree. But their wordings and everything. I went to school in Atlanta, so we used to go to Florida a lot. Exactly, the rednecks in Florida. That's how the FBAs are acting. like their
So,
lingo.
so Belle, let me just say this, Belle. We don't speak the Queen's English, right? We don't speak proper English because we're not as educated as the people from England that speak the Queen's English, right, Belle? We speak a bastardized language of English, right? So even being educated, right? Even though I graduated from a UCSE, right, or a UC, right? Um, I still know what it is to not know it from the English language. You know, I sound like a proper YT person, but I didn't know how to speak English until I got to high school. To tell you the truth, Spanish was my first language. But regardless of the fact, Bell, what I'm saying with this is that I never want to even black Americans, even Trump, he speaks as a third grade level educational speech. Even the MAGAs, Bella.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. They are not anything but TikTok. They're not even on Instagram. I think they're like a little bit on Twitter. They're just on TikTok. They're nowhere else.
And that 100%. This is a small demographic on TikTok. I've never met. I always run into Black Americans that ask me like, "What is an FBA?" And I always have to break it down for them. You know, and then let alone meeting a Black American in the flesh in real life. Never met an FBA in real life. Only on TikTok.
Yeah, I'm in Ethiopia, and this is like our wedding season, so everybody comes from all over. There's a lot of like Black Americans, Ethiopians now here for a lot of festivities and celebration.
Trying
None
to
of them
marry? Trying to be Habesha?
now Mavisha. So none of them have heard of FBA. I know more about FBA, and I live in Ethiopia than the ones from US. They were like, "What?"
Right. I'm a Ritrian sister, so we're like we're mortal enemies, but I still love you.
Of course, that's a dead thing. That whole division, it's
I hope
gone. I mean,
so. I
there's
hope
a
so.
lot of Eritreans here now,
If I could
and
chime in.
it's fine. I mean,
Yeah, go
it's
ahead,
people,
sister.
especially with the youth. That sentiment is completely moved on. We definitely have acknowledged being neighbors, and I think it's the governments who are.
Yeah, Bell, take it up with my sisters and my aunties and the women in my family. Go ahead.
So
I didn't know you were
if I could
Eritrean. I thought you were like Black American.
um, if I could
I didn't
chime
know.
in, I know like there are people listening and there are people in the chat. Tomorrow is gonna be very, very bad. So if you've not warmed your car, this is a reminder, or maybe cover your car, whatever. But I wanted to say, like,
Wait, hold on.
FBA.
IFY, can you explain that a little bit more? Because
Oh,
I'm
I'm
not
just saying.
educated.
No. The weather right now is in
Oh,
sub-zeros, so I'm just reminding everyone to like cover your car
right.
because there'll be like 20. Some places are gonna be
So
like
we got
12,
ice. We
20
got
feet of
ice as
snow.
people, and then we got ice as weather, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about the weather. So like cover your car tonight because I think the snow around here is gonna start snowing by 2 a.m.
Where
So
are
like
you right
warm your
now?
car,
Where
Pennsylvania.
are? Oh, Pennsylvania. Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
Texas all the way through the
Yeah, so
Northeast.
we're in sub-zero weather right now.
How
Um,
cold is it? Is it really that cold right now?
it,
Oh, she just got a blizzard right now. She just went through the the snowstorm just hit her right now. Yeah. Anyways, Bella, I only said that. I'm joking. Like I am Eritrean, but I'm also Mexican, and I'm reconnecting with my Eritrean people. But they're like, "You're not Ethiopian," because I thought I was Ethiopian the whole time. But even though they're both one and the same, I know that, Bell. FYI, are you back? Are you safe, sister? Are you safe from the wizard storm? Or are you still there with us, sister? IFY, are you there?
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Are
I'm
you
like, what
okay?
happened to me? I'm good. I'm good. I'm in the
Hello?
house.
Hello.
Yeah.
How are you guys?
I'm good.
Hold on,
And
Cause.
Sorry.
sorry, guys.
Let the sister let the sister land. Let the sister land, and
Cause,
I got you,
cause
Cause.
Yeah, no problem.
Guys, I promise I'll be quick. I'm in a house. Thanks for asking. And the police station is just 2 minutes away from my house. So I'm like, if anything happen, we're all going there. So, but I'm good. I just wanted to say the FBAs or the people that call themselves the FBAs. I know the sister that spoke before said they're only on TikTok, and I think that's true because I don't think any of them. It's like they've gone out in the society where they've seen things or where they've seen like how their rhetoric is affecting their own people. I'm saying this because they always say in most of their panels, they always say, you people come in here and you're trying to gain from all our hard work and what our ancestors did and whatever, but they're not seeing what they're gaining from us or from African Americans who come in here fearlessly, because in Africa there's really nothing, like there's no discrimination. So when you come in here from Africa, or when your parents come in here from Africa, they come in fearlessly. If they want to get a job in a corporation on the 25th floor, they're going there to put the application because they don't have the fear that Black Americans here, or the ones that originate or their ancestors were from slavery, who gone through stuff under the white people. They don't have that fear that those people have. So when they have children, of course their children are going to match in there fearlessly as well, like myself. So with the school that I went to, it's a private school. I'm the only Black person. I'm not talking about African American or Black American. The only person that's Black in the whole school. And I'm so Black that, and the neighborhood, the environment, the city itself is of white people, that I was driving, when I was in school, I was driving a Honda CRV, and I went in my car to get something from my car, and someone called 911. One of the neighbors, one of the people that live around the school, they were just walking, strolling around the school. Yeah, they called 911, and they said someone is getting in the car, because of course I'm getting in my car. And the school, they called the school, so the school kind of announced that, if you have a Honda CRV, if you have a Honda CRV, please go and check your car. I
The
was like,
host does not know that we cannot hear anything from her. It's
oh,
only him.
No,
can you hear me?
I can hear her. I'm hearing her.
Oh,
You guys
I'm
can't
sorry.
hear her? You guys can't hear her?
No, we can't hear
Yeah,
anything.
I don't
Yeah,
know why.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay.
No, her. She
So
was speaking, right?
She was fake. Okay. No, I
So
didn't
Bell,
hear anything.
so I don't IFY. I can hear everything you're saying. Apparently, Bell and Cos can't hear anything you're saying.
I'm
Yeah, we
sorry.
can't hear her.
This might be the thunder snowstorm that's hitting IFY right
Maybe.
now.
Well, you know what?
Maybe
I'm gonna pass my message across, so maybe you can pass it to them. How about that?
She's talking right now because I didn't hear her.
she's okay. So let me reiterate what she said. She just said that she grew up in a white. She was the only Black person in her school, predominantly white. She drove a Honda Civic.
Honda CRV.
Oh, okay. And then she got targeted for a Karen called on her about breaking into her own car. Okay. and go ahead, sister. I don't know if they can still hear you.
So the moral of the story is that I went through all of that so that Black people or another Black
No, we
male or
can't hear
female
anything.
coming, Bell chill. Another person coming to that school can be more comfortable, because when police came and everything, like I was
Maybe
like,
she
this
need
is
to
my car.
go
But
I'm gonna have to
come back.
yeah,
no,
so
hold on,
like,
You guys can't. Obviously, they can't hear you. IFY. You're just talking to me because obviously they
yeah,
can't hear you.
just tell them what I'm trying to say
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that
Don't worry.
another years past, like this is years, more than 10 years after I went to this school, this girl came to where I work, and when she saw me, she's a Black American. When she saw me, she was like, "Oh my God, I know this is you. Did you go to so school?" I said,
She's
"Yes."
the same one that called the cops on you.
No, no, no. The person that called the
Okay.
cops on me is one of the
All right.
neighbors, a white person.
All
But
right.
this
All right.
girl
All
is a
right.
Black
Sorry. Go ahead. Go
American.
ahead. My
She
bad.
went to this school. She was accepted into the same school. And when she got to the school, she saw the pictures of the alumni. And when you can distinguish that, because when you look at those pictures, I'm the only Black person, the only Black face you see in that picture.
Okay.
So when she met me in person, she was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this. I'm meeting you in person. I saw you, I saw your picture and all of that." So when
Breaking
I
into
went,
your own car.
yeah, when I went through everything I went through in that school, is to make other Black Americans going to that school comfortable. Because
and
now they
aware
have
and
more
aware of all
Black.
the bullshit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but now they have more Black people in that school, and they're very comfortable because when I went there and I was the only Black person, I went through what I went through, but I came out on top of my class. So there's respect for Black person coming to that school because of me. But this FBA's done, they don't seek such things. They
They're
don't
never
seek
gonna,
such
yeah,
things.
they're never gonna
They
give
don't
credit for that,
respect.
you know? They're never gonna give credit for that. But I commend you. I honor you for that, sister. I give you flowers for that, you know. It is a lot to grow up in a YT community, even where Black Americans are not at. Because there's so many private schools too, where they're not afforded even an entry, right? They're not worried about that. They're worried about the African student immigrant that's going to come and take their seat in the classroom, let alone their job, their competition. So yeah, sister, I appreciate that. And there's so many stories like that. IFY. There's so many African people from the diaspora that come to America and they achieve and they soar. And I feel like a lot of the things that YT people do to Black Americans is keep them at the level where they condition them at. Not to say they can't rise above that, but for the FBAs that see that being a competition instead of seeing the people that have the knee on their neck or the ceiling, the glass ceiling on their achievements and what they can do in America, that's a condition, right? But there's pros and cons on both sides. I'm saying YT people exploit all Black people from the diaspora. All right. Whether it's for their benefit or whether it's to pit people against each other or whatnot, right? But with that, let me go to Kaz. Kaz has been waiting patiently. Thank you, sister IFY. Bella, I'm gonna get to you.
God bless.
Kaz, go ahead and introduce yourself, brother, with your race, your ethnicity, where you're from.
Hey, I'm Congolese, and I'm born and raised in France. So I'm living in France, and I just was scrolling and like I just trying to understand what's going on in your country because the perception like outside the U.S. we was talking about this with some friends, and I'm working on the tourist industry in Paris. So I'm talking with some American, I'm talking with a lot of European, and the perception we have, it's like you have some civil war, some shit like this. It's like I saw what's going on with ICE, and no, for real, like it's fucking
No, I hear you.
crazy. Like it's fucking crazy. Like it's
right. So, Kaz, you saw my prompt. Are you speaking on the prompt? Or are you speaking about American issues like the government versus the people? We're talking about Black people within America, right? And
Yeah.
America is very diverse, right?
Yeah.
So So do you know what a FBA is, my brother Kaz?
Yeah, I saw what's going on. I saw this on TikTok, and I saw the division between like FBA and African immigrant.
Right.
So yeah, I understand. I understand.
So cause in your profession, you'll never have to deal with the FBA. We have understood that this is a small minority within the TikTok community.
Bro, I listen.
So you don't.
I will
Yeah,
not
go ahead.
doing any
Generation or generalization. Yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
because I was in Africa. I was like in Congo and in Kenya, and I met a lot of FBA right here. We're doing business, we're visiting, we're living there, and
They claim FBA, or are you just giving them that
no,
title?
no,
because
no,
they're
no, no.
Black
They don't
American?
claim. No, they don't. Okay,
So
sorry.
Kaz, let me just say this to you real quick, okay? So a Black American is not necessarily a FBA. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. So FBA is a political thing. It's not on the census. It's not a true ethnicity. It's something that they want to proclaim, right? But
Okay, I was
just
meaning
like
Black American. Okay, I understand.
so,
what you
brother,
mean.
even African American, right? So
Yeah,
an
African American. Yes.
right. But an African American, a Black American, there's a distinction, right? This is how people want to be identified as, right? So as a Black American through history, so Black people in America have been reclassified over and over and over again, right? They were called quadroons, they were called coloreds, they were called Negroes, they were called Black, they were called Black Americans, they were called African Americans, they were called Afro Americans, and lastly, now there is a part that want to be called foundational Black Americans. So you see all these identities that play out,
Yeah.
and you see how there are mixes of African people that know they're African, that have no problem saying African American because they know they come from Africa. Then you have other people, you even have Black Americans, but they understand slavery and they know that slavery happened in Africa, transatlantic slave trade. And then you have foundational Black Americans who are like, well, yeah, we're African, but we want nothing to do with Africans. We claim America. And so, okay, so these are all the different identities. And so again, do not mix up FBA with a Black American or an African American. These are different ethnicities within America. And everybody thinks differently about how they're either American or both African and American. Then you have people that want nothing to do with Africa because they don't speak the language in Africa. They don't have a tribe. They don't find their lineage. So they make sense of what is here in America. Now, the other aspect of it, Kaz, is that the current administration right now is very xenophobic, very anti-immigration, right? And a lot of this FBA rhetoric that we're hearing is them not caring about African immigrants. So for your business, right? I wouldn't pay too much attention to all this information I'm telling you. I just want to make it clear that you don't mix up these ethnicities together.
Don't worry. I say FBA, it was a mistake, but don't worry. I understand. Like not every Black American or African American like thinking the same. Like you are like 40 million of people, I think, in America. So you have a lot of people who think differently. Like I say, I've been like in Africa and I met a Black American right here, like no issues. Like they was really glad to be in there, and like some of them are my friend. And but it's just I didn't know like the division because I saw it on TikTok. It's only on TikTok I saw like the division between like FBA and like African immigrant, and I hear some crazy story about like it's like some people think it's like it's a plotting to replace. It's what I feel. It's what I hear on TikTok. It's like I feel some Black Americans feel like they like the white supremacy trying to replace them with Black immigrant, and they use Black immigrants against African American. So I'm not living there. I don't understand what's going on. Like I said, the perception of us outside America, it's like your country is fucking chaos, bro. Like it's the chaos. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's like it's the I don't know the
Cause you're just learning as you go, you know. But you want to be informed, and so I'm trying to inform you. But it's
yeah
not
yeah
gonna
yeah yeah.
affect. So as somebody that interacts with different people from all across the world, right? You want to be well
Yeah.
informed about things. So I'm just saying you're never gonna come across the FBA real. Oh well, maybe let me take that back. You're in France. You said you're
Yeah.
in France. Yeah. So I doubt it. A lot of FBAs don't even have a passport, all right? And that's a little slight diss, but I'm just joking.
But
But
even in Paris, you have some Black American who come in Paris,
of
right?
course. But these people are so stuck to America,
Ah, yeah,
and
yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah, I
so
understand perfectly what you mean.
their hate comes from them not knowing the world.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
understand what you mean. Yeah. Because the Black American I met, like outside America, they was like really open-minded because like they had to travel, they understand some other culture. So and
Yeah.
well,
I'm only talking about FBAs, by the way. I'm not talking about Black Americans, right?
yeah,
Only
I know.
FBAs.
Yeah, I know. That's why I understand what you mean. Like I understand. Like I said, I'm not gonna do a generalization. Sorry, but yeah, I listen you.
Yeah, thank you, Kaz, and that's all. At the end of the day, look, we've done an internal investigation about this, you know, to make a distinction between these ethnicities. But I think Bell wants to talk, and IFY. Let the sisters talk. Maybe
But
they can
I'm gonna
respond.
just say one thing. The problem is, and it's creates a lot of division because like African too sometimes like fall on this shit too, you know. So I was hear some crazy shit between like the FBA and
100%,
some, you know
100%,
what I
Kaz.
mean. So I can hear like some African who gonna doing generalization and like insulting FBA. Like I'm gonna say something. In France, we have Caribbean, you know, like from like the French have a colony in Caribbean, like Martinique, Guadeloupe, you know. So we had this since some fucking children. We have this discussion about like the roots of Caribbean, and me, I'm not gonna try to like impose the identity of Caribbean people. The Caribbean people have their own identity, their own culture, but we all agree we had like the same roots because like mostly they come from like the slave trade from Africa, but it's a mix of like like French,
Right,
African, but mostly African, you know. But still, they
right,
have their
Kaz.
own culture.
Let me say this, Scott. So yes, of course, there's differences. Even in the continent of Africa, there's differences between people, right? But the FBA does not care about Caribbeans, do not care about Africans for the most part, right? They're the ones punching down on and talking mess about the Black diaspora, right? So I'm just gonna give you that. These are the FBAs I've dealt with. Maybe you've met some ones that aren't like that, but again, these are different than Black Americans or African Americans. But here, let me let Bell speak, and then IFY. You guys want to respond to Kaz? Let's give him some more context or anything.
Uh, yeah. One thing I have made an observation of is you can love your country without hating another one. Like you said, you're Eritrean, right? There are some Eritreans who does not think about Ethiopia all that much, and there are some Eritreans who cannot stand Ethiopia. Correct? So it's just an example I'm giving you, like the same maybe with Ethiopians. But one thing is the FBAs would have been legit if they were only concerned about their identity, trying to find out exactly where they come from. It's just a very noble thing to do. There's nothing wrong with that. But what they claim is that Africans they get in our business and they try to tell us who we are and who we are not.
No, Africans sold us. This is what they say.
Yeah, they say
Africans
stuff like
sold
that.
us.
And then another thing so let's say that we buy their complaints about Africans disrespecting FBAs or Black Americans, and that's what the whole thing towards Africa started. Like some lady actually, she kind of walked me through that. Oh, you know why it is like this with Africans? It's because when we first started the indigenous foundational whatever movement, it was the indigenous Americans, the natives that were against us. But now Africans started to side with the indigenous and then started to disrespect us. That's what they will tell you, how the hate on Africa started. But that's a lie, because even if you get on their panel and you say one nice thing about your own country, they look at it as that is like being against them. Even if you say like, oh, Eritrea is beautiful or Ethiopia is beautiful, oh my God, they will just shout and scream and yell, and you don't even have to say anything bad to them. So the movement, sometimes they question it. Is it really about an identity of being from America, or it's just self-hate being associated to Africa? So you question it. I mean, I don't have any problem trying to find out who you are. I have no business telling you like you're part, especially as an East Africa. I don't think we have anything to do with the slave trade. We cannot say anything, to be honest. But the second you say like, oh, Eritrea is beautiful or Kenya's this and Nigeria, oh my God, they would just yell and scream at you.
Well,
and
look,
curse you.
an FBA would be quick to distinguish a West African from an East African. That's what an FBA would do, right? Even though they don't relate to West Africans.
Yeah, but
they will say East Africans are Arabs. They're not even Africans. They're not true Africans.
I mean,
So here,
like I said,
Bell. So what I'm saying is the foundational Black American, they are more YT. Like they think that we are, from Afro-Asiatic or Arab.
Yeah.
They're just projecting, right? So
yeah. And the funny thing is, you cannot say anything about them, but they can say anything.
Watch me say everything about
that's
them.
the
Watch me.
relationship that they
I'm
have.
American. I'm Nipsey Hussle in America.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is, their way, the way they are structured is
they're not running shit in America. Like for us to take them serious. Listen. I have respect for Black Americans, African Americans. Never an FBA. That's it. That's all. That's all, Bell.
Of course. That's my point. I mean, you can say something nice, positive about Eritrea, that they will take it as like you are saying something bad about America. I mean, that is like so sick, though. You can love your country without hating any other country. It's fine to love yours. It's fine to be FBA and love America and all that. Fine. But they really think the love is directly connected to hating
Well,
others.
their love is connected to the trauma about
Yeah,
what
yeah.
people put them through in America.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's the
and
one
so
thing I have a problem
that's
with.
called trauma bonding, and that's something that takes generations to heal from. So in the meantime, they only can project about their self-hate, about their dark skin, their
Oh, okay.
texture,
And then
how
the
they
the
look
skin
like,
thing.
for them to
Have you
compare
noticed?
Africans to African Americans, you know?
Then they will bring a picture on their panels, a light-skinned American who looks exactly like Ethiopian or Eritrean, and they will be like, look at this. We
They
are
got the Somalis already with the big foreheads, and they're aliens, and so on and so forth. All right. So again, guys, this has always been characters within the YT people did this to every race. This is what we don't remember. We don't remember how colonization worked, patriotism worked, nationalism worked, and how they profited, and they always make money by demonizing, dehumanizing other people that they choose not to make American. YT people are now the Native Americans. They run the casinos, they run the land, they put the true Native Americans on reservations. They got the black labor force that's not doing the same kind of labor. So now, because these black Americans are so attached to their former slave masters, that they have to get work from, they have to have cheap labor from all across the world. This is why immigrants come here, not only for cheap labor, but on their own merits. They get the best doctors. They get America is the land. This is the melting pot, right?
Sorry, guys. I'm just gonna say goodbye. I need to prepare for work. Thank
All
you
right,
for listening me, and thank you for the explanation. I will. I'm sorry. Sorry.
You good?
Sometimes I'm
You
looking
good,
for my
Cause?
words.
Yeah, but bless up, man.
Have
I'm
a
happy
good
that we
day.
can inform you just a little bit more, and so you don't have to worry about it when you're at work and dealing with people. That's all. That's all.
What you say?
I'm happy that we can inform you about that. You're really never going to run into an FBA and make a
Yeah, thank
distinction
you.
between an FBA and a Black American and an African American. That's what.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you. And yeah, it looked like chaos outside the country, the perception, but yeah. Yeah.
All
Have a
right,
great
blessings,
day.
brother. All right, good
Thanks.
night, bro.
So I have a question for you. You said you just found out like you're Mexican in Eritrea, but you thought you were
I didn't
Ethiopian.
just find out. I always knew. I thought I was Ethiopian, but Ethiopia. When my dad was there, he fought the war. He was part of the Civil War there, right? So Eritrea was Ethiopia when he was born there, but then they got their independence in 1991 or 92, right? And so it went back to Eritrea. And then so I didn't connect with my father and my aunt. I just reconnected with them. I didn't grow up with that side, so
Oh, so you probably thought they were from Tigray. Maybe they spoke Tigrinya.
no. So my birth certificate said that my father was Ethiopian.
Oh, but he just lived in Ethiopia.
He was, well, it was Ethiopia when Ethiopia colonized Eritrea.
Okay. So not colonized, but more like
And then,
occupied.
all right, well, you're okay, maybe. But Eritrea got its independence, so it became back to Eritrea. But either way, he was Eritrean. Asmara,
And your mom?
she's Mexican.
Okay, so they met in the U.S.
Yeah. But I grew up with my mom. I didn't grow up with my dad.
I see. So you have that Habesha look?
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I'm around my people, I look like them. I don't look like a Mexican.
I see.
I look like an Arab or Indian to my Mexican people, but I look Habesha to my Habesha people.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that Habesha look is very deceiving anyway. It can be in any culture. Like I went to Spain in Malaga, like in August, and everybody thought I was like a darker Spanish. Like they were speaking to me in Spanish. I'm like, no, I don't speak Spanish. And then same same travel. We went to Sicily, southern Italy, and they thought I was like Sicilian. I was like, no, 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 no. I'm Ethiopian. Maybe you guys don't know the Habesha look, but I'm Ethiopian, you know? So that Habesha look fits in everywhere. And then now the FBAs, if you look at their panels, the pictures they brought on their panels to say like, oh, these are FBA, they look exactly Eritrean or Ethiopian. That's the kind. Oh, that's so cute. Wow, yeah, you look very Habesha on that picture.
Yeah, that's Pop. That's Pops right there. I feel like he's like Sudanese.
Yeah, no, he's definitely Eritrean. He looks like Isaias Afwerki.
That's my name. That's my name actually.
Okay, your dad
Isaiah. Isaias.
here, the president of Eritrea.
Yeah, my sister's name is Asmara.
I see.
But yeah, anyways,
Eritreans are really cool people. I really have a lot in my family, in my like friendship circle. Yeah, I'm always around Eritreans for whatever reason. I gravitate towards them, but I'm full Ethiopian.
so yeah, once I reconnected, they were like, "You're not Ethiopian, you're Eritrean, all right, and be proud." So it's not that I went to college with Ethiopians, and like I said, I thought I was Ethiopian because that's what it said on my birth certificate, without knowing my father. But I reconnected. So
Have you been to
anyway,
Eritrea?
well,
Have you been to Eritrea? Did you go visit?
no, I'm going soon though.
Okay.
You know, I'm gonna stop by
Hey, Vibes.
Virginia. Yeah, go ahead, sis.
Yeah, I'm about to go because I'm in.
I'm
It's
not sure
Sunday morning
everyone
here.
can hear me, but
We gotta go
I
to
gotta
like
conserve
church
my
and stuff. But the
energy.
thing is,
Have a good night.
Y'all
And
talking
keep...
over each other.
I know, right? I'm so
but
sorry.
what I'm
So she
saying
can't hear
is,
me.
Bell,
the
let it.
the hate is really really serious on TikTok, but it's not real. It makes you wonder, like, why did I even care about this
I'm just
topic
gonna let her
of
finish,
theirs,
okay?
thinking it was bigger than what it was. So I am to blame also, but I'm learning a lot from this one guy. He doesn't consider himself FBA, but he has a lot of information about Black people being in US before anybody else, and that I kind of buy into it.
He flirted with you.
No, he doesn't. No. The thing is,
He's got a lot of information, huh? He's got a lot of information.
yeah, he does. And then how I process it is, all this information is about Africa. At the end of the day, it's Africa.
All right. Well, Sister Bell, I appreciate you. We're gonna reconnect, even though you're the ops. I'm just joking. I'm joking. It was a joke. It was a joke, Bell. It was a joke.
That's definitely dying. That's just between the two governments butt hitting.
I know, Bell. Bell, stay up though. I think IFY wanted to say something while you were here.
Yeah.
IFY, go ahead. I'm gonna leave soon too, guys.
If you come to Addis, maybe you'll come one day. You will see how Eritreans are living really, really free. Nobody bothers them. And then the ones that really never left are extremely successful. So don't buy into it. Really, don't. It's a different dynamic in Addis.
I hear you, Habasha. I hear you. Go ahead, FY.
Right, she can
Alright,
hear me, so
nice
if you want to
connecting
talk,
with you. I just
okay.
followed you and I'll
Let her
Bella,
finish.
stay. No, you have to stay. IFY stayed for you. You better stay for IFY. All right. This is a group thing.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
I know she can't hear me, so
The thing is, it's
you want
Sunday
to tell
here.
her to hold up.
Bell,
Hold on to her for a minute, girl.
You guys
Sis,
are gonna waste my Sunday.
Oh
oh
my God,
my God.
girl. All right, bye, bye, Bella.
We
Since
just
you,
speak right now
Bella,
because like, oh my
this
God.
is why. This is why. Belle, be a
Yeah.
Habesha and stick around. Listen to IFY real quick.
I can't hear her, so that's why.
So mute up.
Oh my God. Sis, I really want you in my
We
corner
can't hear
because
her.
I'm just now.
Belle,
Vibes is
I can
gonna
hear
let
her.
me know what
I
I
can hear
said
you.
though, but I want you in my corner because I ain't gotta say much. Like I was gonna leave the floor for you. Like I want you. Like you're the kind of person I want on my team. You know, so because I can just sit back and relax and you know what to say and what to you know. But vibes, I just followed you and keep doing what you're doing. I'm glad I ran into your life and continue what you're doing because I think sometimes we African Americans, don't have the opportunity to like say what we want to say because most of these panels are hijacked by the FBAs and they really don't make any cross point across, so they really don't try to like um understand what the other person is saying or where they're coming from. They just when once you tell them where you're from or where your family is from or whatever, they just start the mockery or the cussing or all kind of stuff, like just to like displace your thinking or like make you think like them, and don't even bother telling them you're educated because as soon as you say that, it's a war. They're like, oh, you're saying you're better than us, like so you can't even like talk about your achievement or talk about who you are or what you can do or how you know what it means for you to be here. But I'm just gonna leave you because I need to conserve my energy for
That's
this week
fair.
that's come. All
Yeah,
right.
I appreciate that, and that's why I do this. And we do have a big team. You know, I'm not alone. Like I do have a whole. I had a couple of my mods up here.
So
And
I
we.
just followed you,
Can
and
you repeat what she
if
said?
you
I haven't
want,
heard
if you
anything.
can,
She was just saying that like
follow
thank you
back.
for doing what you're doing. There isn't spaces on FBA channels to speak about. As soon as you introduce yourself, as soon as you tell them you're African or you're educated, they're gonna call you a tether, or they're gonna call you an anchor baby, or whatever. I've been there. IFY. So this would be a safe space for us. It wouldn't be a safe space for FBA, even though we understand Black Americans. And the greatest part about this is that we do hear other conversations about Black Americans and African Americans that speak against FBA. You know, and then we also have FBA people. We have to have empathy for Black Americans because they always want to be like, oh well, foundational Black American sounds nice. Maybe that's what I am, you know. So we're here to remind them about how people try to subscribe to that identity because it sounds good, but they don't see the other half of it. They don't see the other side of what we're dealing with. And then, like I said again, it's like based off the current administration with the anti-immigration rhetoric, with Donald Trump, with the Black MAGAs, with the FBA MAGAs. So we have to be very clear about where we stand and be prideful about where we come from. If we're even first generation, second generation Americans, if we're immigrants, if you know, again. So anyways, thank you, sister IFY. I appreciate that, and that's why I do what we do. And you're always welcome to come up, just like you, Belle. You're always welcome to come up, my Ethiopian sister. And there's always a safe space for you guys. I
Appreciate
love you
you.
guys. I'll
Good
stay
night.
up.
Have a good one.
Wow.
Bye.
Thank you.